Mm-hmm. Okay, bet. I think we're live.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share this on yep, copy Facebook.
Yeah, tag me in that so then I can share it as well on my
Okay.
thing.
Cool. Here you go. Oh snap. Okay. Gotta do the whole thing over, huh?
Mom, I'm gonna have to call you back. I'm about to do an interview. All right, you're fine.
Here we go. This interface is tweaking out on me.
Uh-oh.
On Facebook, I'm trying to, like, the cursor keeps moving.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like what? Okay, all right, cool. Okay, let me know if you got that tag, and then we'll start.
Okay, hold on, let me check. Let me check. All right, cool. Yeah. Looks like I have it. So let me add this to my profile so people can see it. Um,
While I'm at it, I need to send this to my brother.
all right, I just shared it. So
Okay, cool. Okay, all right, and I'm gonna I'm gonna send this to my brother, um, because he my brother, my oldest brother, he actually just
mhm.
started making YouTube videos.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just funny because I didn't know he was gonna start doing it. He did like one call in show or whatever. And then he was like, Mike, I think I'm gonna do it. I was like, oh, okay, well, I've been doing this, so yeah, do it. You know?
Right. That's
Oh,
funny. It'd be like
yeah,
that though.
yeah, man, yeah. And I had no idea. It wasn't planned at all. And I definitely need to call him after this because I told him I would. Uh, Man, it's crazy having like amazing internet like on a slow computer.
Oh man, yeah, isn't that the worst?
Ah, bro. Oh man. Okay. All right. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. So we're gonna get this popping, man. All right, cool, man. I appreciate you again, Aaron. What's going on, y'all, man? This is Crested Wiz, Black Collar King, man. I hope y'all are well, bro. I'm here with the one and only Aaron Smith, the Aaron Smith Experience, man. I appreciate you being here with me, man. Tell the people who you are. Let them know what you're doing, brother.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Aaron Smith. I appreciate being on your platform, and I appreciate you wanting to do these types of talks with artists and musicians like myself to, kind of explain what our thought process is and what we've gone through and certain things that we've had to do in order to get to any type of level of, I guess, success that you could say. But I am a professional musician, artist. Um, I've been playing drums since the age of 2. I was considered a prodigy as a kid growing up. And so I just been doing this my entire life. And I started uh, producing and taking that serious and making music probably, I would say, when I was in about elementary school or so.
Hmm.
That's when I started, kind of messing with beats and
Mm-hmm.
recording stuff on my keyboards and, back then. But then I really started kind of taking it serious or trying to take it serious. I would say I was probably about 18 or 19 trying to figure out, music programs like GarageBand, Reason, Logic, Pro Tools, stuff like that. But I've been doing it for quite some time, man. And that's like the gist of, me as far as
Mm-hmm.
like what I do.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Okay, so you touched on a few of my questions, man. But where are you from originally? Because I know I've been following you since like 2011, 2012. You know what I'm saying? So I know you've been to Nashville, and now you're in Indiana. Or so to let the people know where you're from, bro.
Okay, so I'm originally from a small city called Muncie, Indiana,
Mm,
which is 45 minutes from Indianapolis. Um, I grew up there literally my whole life up
yeah.
until I moved. I moved the first time when I went off to college to Berkeley College of Music in Boston,
Mm,
and then I moved back, and then I moved away again because I started going to Indiana University, which is 2 hours away. That is in Bloomington, Indiana. And then I moved back again, and then I moved away again to Nashville.
right.
I was in Nashville for about 7 8 months. But I left. The reason I left there is because my girlfriend at the time, of course, she's my wife now.
Yes, sir.
She was pregnant with my first child, and so I wanted to be closer. And so now I've moved to Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I'm at right now.
Oh,
And
nice.
yep, and so I'm here in Cleveland, and got married and settled on in for a minute, and
Mm-hmm.
so we actually plan on moving probably in a couple years or so. We're kind of waiting for our
Nice.
yeah, we're waiting for our older kids to graduate high school because she had 3 children before me,
Most
uh,
definitely.
bef- and so I have 3 stepchildren and 2 children of my own, which I just
Yes.
had my baby boy just a few days ago. And so we're waiting on my two middle son and daughter to graduate high school in a couple years, and then that's when we'll pack up and move. Man, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
move back to Nashville. We just love it there. She loves it there. I love it
Nice.
there, and I was making great connections and great. I was in great situations down there. So
Bro, that man, that's amazing. That like that's truly amazing, bro. Like, and I want to go back to Michigan a little bit. Because I know you said you started taking production seriously when you were 19, 18.
yep.
Okay, so when did you start taking like drums seriously, or just drums was just you out the womb serious about that?
Yeah, I can honestly say out the womb, I was serious about drums. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was
Mm-hmm.
something that I've always wanted to do. it was something that I just knew was a part of me. And so, I mean, dude, like I started, like my parents, it's really good to have really, really supportive parents. So my parents saw the gift in me, and as well as like, certain leaders at my church and stuff
Right.
like that. They saw a gift in me, and so they helped me cultivate it by just supporting me and not forcing me to do something. Like playing drums was something that I naturally just wanted to do. So
Hmm.
that's what I would do as a kid. I would go in the garage, I would play for hours and hours and hours until the sun came down. But I was still a kid too, like
Right. Right.
I'll go outside and play with friends, and I'll go play basketball, I'll go play football. I did all that type of stuff. But when it came to drums, like I was always serious about it. So like my parents put me in drum lessons to learn how to read music
Mm.
at the age of 8. And so
Right.
I learned how to read music at a very, very early age.
Mm.
My private instructor that I had was like, I mean, dude, I can't teach him anything on how to play drums. He already knows how to play. He was like, but I can teach him how to read. And so
Yeah.
I started learning rudiments and knowing what rudiments were and reading, drum music, snare music, as well as drum set music.
Hmm.
And I just always took it serious, man. Like always, like I any type of band that I could be in, I would be in it. I did marching band, jazz band, symphony band, pep band. Like I was always in all the bands. Like that's just
Yeah.
what I wanted to do. So that's just that's just what I was always known for here. Well, back at home in my hometown, like everybody knew like Aaron was a drummer. Like that's just always what I did.
Bro, that's amazing, man. And so leading up to that, what was when was your first drum clinic?
So my first drum clinic ever, it was crazy as it was a clinic, but it really wasn't a clinic, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like it was, I would say it was more so of a drum showcase. Like it was a few of us drummers that got together, and we played to a couple tracks, and we would kind of explain a little bit what we were doing. But like it wasn't like a full in-depth drum clinic. So my first drum clinic that I ever did was when I was 18 years old. I was a senior in high school, and a homie of mine named Shaq, from Muskegon, Michigan, um, hit me up. This is like when Facebook like really became like a true thing. This is like back in 2010. And so he hit me up and was like, "Man, I want you to come do this drum clinic that I have going on." Blah 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 blah. Gave me the specifics and all that stuff. Mind you, like I didn't get paid or anything back
Hmm.
then. It was just pretty much for just
Yeah,
exposure, and I wanted to do something. You know what I mean? Like they
most
paid for my
definitely.
gas,
Yeah,
but I didn't get like paid.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
so that's like the famous video on YouTube, the Aaron Smith
Okay.
clinic in Michigan. That was
Mm.
like my first like clinic ever. Like I didn't know how to explain what I was doing. Like I didn't really have it under my belt, but like you live and learn, trial and error, and you learn how to talk to people. You learn how to
Yeah.
conduct yourself, and you learn how to explain your methods and things that you use musically and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And so, but yeah, that was the very first thing that I ever did. Like the video, dude, it has like 300 and something
Yeah,
thousand views or
thousand.
something like.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I just put it up there, and it just went viral. Like
Yeah,
I was like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, that was my first ever drum clinic ever.
man. And that's crazy, bro. Because I can still remember like what caught my eye was the way you did the crossover. Like it was just like, man, because just like back then I just never I've seen it done before, but just the way you had did it in that video with everything else that you had did to set up right before that was just mind blowing to me at the time, bro. And like just like the longevity of how that's their highest video
Hmm.
from your first drum clinic that you've never gotten paid for, just pouring your heart out on stage. That viewership, I think definitely was the personification of everything that you played that day, man. Most definitely.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that was a crazy time in my life, man. Like I was really just now starting to get my name out there. Like
Hmm.
playing more than just in Muncie. Like I was, starting to travel here and there. Like I did a few gigs, like travel with some gospel groups and stuff like that. But like kind of that was like my first initial introduction of me doing my own thing instead of me doing something for somebody, behind somebody type deal. And so that really opened up, it really opened up doors. Like it did, it truly did. And so what's crazy is like that crossover, I got that from Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah Johnson from New York. Like there's like this old video of him doing that same crossover. It was like the Doobie Powell shed, like 2008.
Yeah.
And I took that mug from that. Like seeing Zaya play changed my whole approach and outlook on drums, because like Zaya's my age, you know what I mean? Like I'm 29.
Wow, yeah.
He's 29. And so when I saw that, like I was like, dude, like I gotta step my game up. Like I was like 16, 17 when I saw that. You know what I mean? So definitely props to Isaiah Johnson for pushing me.
Out.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
Man, that's what's up, yeah, because he is definitely a killer. I remember seeing him on what's that overseas shed company?
It's like Shed Sessions,
yeah,
or
something like that. Yeah. Because Wes Watkins did that. Shouts out.
Yep.
And I forgot who else. I want to say somebody else from Gospel Chops, I think, did that. But I know Isaiah and Wes Watkins definitely caught my attention when I saw them on there. And speaking of which, I don't think I put this in the questions anywhere. But man, whatever happened to flight drummers, brother?
Oh man, that's Ooh, that is a question a lot of people still ask me, man, because what's crazy is like we see all these online like drumming classes and all that stuff. Like Flight Drummers was onto something. You know what I mean? Like they were gaining subscribers really fast. They had they had me, Mason Guidry, Anthony Burns,
bro. Oh my
Brent
God.
Easton.
The roster, bro.
Yeah, the roster was killing. But what happened was they did a and I'm just gonna just be transparent. Like,
yes, sir.
At the time, there was like issues going on with me and like another drummer. And so this drummer had more influence as far as on who was working behind the scenes. And so, they it's like they wanted to work with me, but they kind of didn't because of because things that were being said. And although like I really wasn't doing anything wrong, it was just back then people didn't understand my personality and that I'm like really vocal. I'm a vocal individual. I'm not a fake individual. Like if I feel like I need to say something, I'll say it. Like if I have a platform in order to inform people of certain things, I'm going to say certain things. And back then people didn't really agree with that. Like a lot of people was like, man, you need to stay off social media, certain things you don't need to say, blah, blah, blah. I get that. I was young. But so the thing with Flight Drummers was there was a situation that happened where they had like they wanted to do this thing like a kind of like a smaller version of a modern drummer festival.
Okay.
And so they wanted to they brought in like Mason Guidry, they brought in Brent Easton, they brought in like JP Bruvet. They brought in some heavy hitters, man. They brought in Chris Coleman. Like they had some killing cats like in the roster, you know what I mean? And so unfortunately, they sacrificed some of the other younger players that I felt like deserved to be there, like myself. And Anthony Burns. Like we were some guys that like, we were up and coming at the time, and we helped Flight Drummers get all those views and subscribers and stuff. Like,
bro.
Like although Brent's videos were doing really well, don't get me wrong. Like this is no shade towards any drummers that were part of the platform, but like at the time, my videos had the most views, and second behind me was Anthony Burns. And third was Brent. And so, there was some weird stuff going on. Like me and him weren't invited because, they weren't trying to pay all of us, and some of the people that were part of this situation with the Flight Drummers Festival, some of them didn't get paid, like, because they had to spend so much money on getting, Chris Coleman's back line and paying Chris Coleman and all that stuff like that. Like, a lot of money was dished out. So all this is going to tie into what happened. So they did a raffle. They did a raffle on a drum set where, they took raffle ticket money, and they so happened, which, mind you, it wasn't that many people that came out to this Modern Drummer Fest. I mean, not Modern Drummer, but Flight Drummers Festival.
Yeah.
It was, it was the first time that they ever did anything like that. They're a new company. And so I feel like they went wrong. Where they went wrong was they had it in a random, it was like North Carolina or something. None of us are from North Carolina. Majority of the drummers are from the Midwest, or if they're not from the Midwest, they are on the East Coast. So it would have been easier just to have it in the Midwest, but they wanted to have it in North Carolina for some odd reason. So another famous drummer, he's a world-renowned drum teacher, YouTube instructor, YouTube sensation. What's his name? Like
Orlando Drummer.
Yeah, Orlando Drummer. Yes.
Yeah.
So Orlando Drummer won the
raffle.
raffle.
Yeah. I remember that.
He won the raffle, and so he was supposed to get like this 5-piece. He's supposed to win like a 5-piece crushed drums, like acrylic kit. And so I guess, to make a long story short, like, he was waiting like weeks and weeks and weeks, like months and months, and he hadn't heard any updates from Flight Drummers about the raffle. And so he kept contacting them. They kept giving him the runaround. Then they ordered it. They ordered it for him after months. They finally had ordered it, but then they canceled the order. Mind you, when stuff like that happens, you're able to call and you're like, hey, what's going on with this order? If you got the order number or you got the information for it, you can call about it. And it was like, yeah, this company canceled this order. Mind you, it wasn't even the right drum set that he was supposed to get. He was supposed to get a 5-piece acrylic kit, but they ordered a 3-piece bop kit or something. So after all that stuff happened, I guess he was fed up, and so he used his YouTube channel to make a video about it. He went in depth about it. He went in depth about how many people was there. It was only about 25, 30 people that showed up, and he was fed up. And when I tell you, that whole entire company was shut down within seconds. They pulled down all the videos, within seconds, bro. Within seconds. They pulled down all the videos. They deleted everything. Their Facebook. They deleted, when I say they deleted everything, they deleted everything. And so the owners, there was 2 owners. There was a guy named Derek Palizay. He's still out there somewhere. I believe Derek Palizay lives in Chicago now. He's still doing online podcasts and speaking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the other dude, his name was John Coffey, and John Coffey's this marketing guru now. He does online marketing and stuff like that. And so, I mean, they pretty much just got in trouble because, I mean, they went in the hole for that whole festival. They didn't make enough money from it, and so they went in the hole. And so, all those videos that they had, all the videos that they made and all that stuff, they're just gone. I know Derek Palizay still has all those videos. I know he does, but they're not for the public eye. They're just not. And so it's unfortunate because they were making such a big stride.
They were.
They were getting a ton of subscribers fast, quick. Yeah. And they were doing drum lessons, and there was all types of videos. There were, drum cover videos on there, artist spotlight videos per se. And then also we were doing lessons on there. Yeah.
I remember.
And so, that's pretty much what happened to Flight Drummers, man. They just, they messed around with the wrong person in this industry.
Yeah.
I mean, Orlando Drummer is one of the
Yeah,
biggest
prominent, man.
online
Yeah, bro.
schools. Like he's one of the biggest online schools when it comes to YouTube drumming. He was one of
Yeah.
the first,
First.
like him and Drumeo, like
Mm-hmm.
all the big online like drumming schools or whatever, all commented on that video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and people was going to flight drummers and spamming them and
Yeah.
saying you're a crook and
Yeah. Yeah.
you're this and calling them names and all that stuff. Like it was bad. Like
Yeah.
it was bad. It was a bad situation. But honestly, I didn't. Quite frankly, if I'm
Mhm.
being honest, I
Yes,
didn't
sir.
care. I didn't care that they got that happened because there was a lot of crooked stuff, I don't think they were purposely being crooked. I think they were being inexperienced.
Huh.
Put it that way. I think because they were trying to get content and they were wanting to pay everybody, but how can you pay everybody when you guys don't have money?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I traveled, like because they had their headquarters in Wooster, Ohio, which Wooster, Ohio is probably like I want to say like an hour and a half from Cleveland.
Mm.
And so honestly, I drove like 3.5, maybe 4 hours to do those videos.
Wow.
And I mean, they were just now getting their office together, and they were trying to, they were
Mhm.
kids. We
Yeah.
were kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like the two owners are kids. They're my age.
Right. Right.
They're like 30 and 29 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So back then we're 20, 21, 22. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I just think, they did some things that were kind of crooked as far as like they were taking tracks. They were supposed to, pay a certain percentage for those tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Anthony Burns, and a few other people.
Yeah. Made
And
tracks. Yeah.
yeah, like there was, we were making tracks and stuff like that. We were supposed to be getting paid from them, and we didn't get paid. They were getting paid for the tracks. They weren't giving us the money.
Wow.
Like it was a lot of stuff that was going on. But like I said, it's no knock to them. I just think that
Right.
they were inexperienced because I feel like had they had the money, I feel
Yeah,
like
they
they
would
would
have
have
paid you.
paid everything. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
they were trying to keep everything. But these are also kids who were also married. Both
Wow.
of them were like freshly married, or at least I know Derek Palizade was married. I
Mm.
don't think John Coffey was married yet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he had a fiance. So these
Okay.
are kids that are trying to make
Yeah.
money, and they're trying to be entrepreneurs, and this is their only source of income with a whole household and a family. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I understood that aspect, but it's just like, okay, well, don't do certain things until you have this stuff together. I just think they rushed way too fast
Mm-hmm.
doing that festival.
Yeah.
They didn't have the funds and the money for it. They just didn't. They
Right.
should have kept making they should have kept building their audience online,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe about 3-4 years later then did the festival. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But it's like uh flight drummers wasn't even out for a year and you already trying to do a festival.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah, so that's what happened, man. That's what happened.
Cool, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Cause man, I definitely enjoyed all of the content from there. And then going back a little bit to the clinics, man. So like during your clinics, what is the most or what is the main point or main lesson that you want people to leave with after they see you during the clinic?
Okay, so my clinics are a little bit different. A
Hmm.
lot of people use clinics to, well, not a lot of people. Some
Hmm.
people use clinics to kind of showcase what they do as far as chops, creativity, and all
Hmm.
that stuff. That's good and all. Like, really, that's what clinics are for.
Right.
But really, I want my clinics to be more structured because I want to teach the younger generation and anybody who is willing to listen, whether they're the younger generation or older generation, I don't care who you are. I want to teach you how to work.
Right.
I want to teach you how to maneuver this music industry. I
Hmm.
want to teach you the ins and outs and things that people aren't going to just give you the answers to. So when I do drum clinics, like, yeah, I'll do a few tracks, and I'll showcase, I'll do an open solo and, I'll get all the fun stuff out the way. But then when I get to the nitty gritty, I talk about the industry. I talk about
Hmm.
um, social media presence. I talk about how to gain a following, how to keep a following, how to keep
Right.
people engaged. I also talk about having multiple streams of income as a musician nowadays, especially during the pandemic. It's
Yeah.
like the last clinic that I did, it was in Huntsville,
Yeah.
Alabama,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
in September. And so the main thing that I talked about was how to survive as a musician during a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just telling them, certain things that I do, as far as I built a home studio and I do a lot of studio work. And I
Mm-hmm.
explained the differences between playing drums live and playing drums in the studio. And,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many things that I cover as far as the business aspect, away from, yeah, I cover technique. I talk about technique on the drums, posture and
Yeah.
rudiments, and
Mm-hmm.
learning how to read and stuff like that. But that's just a little section of it. The main section of my clinics is to get these cats to figure out how to work, and what works and what will
Right.
help them get on a type of pedestal where they can bring in work, and that they can sustain themselves and sustain a family and all that stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where a lot of my energy goes towards when it comes to these drum clinics that I do.
Yeah, man, and that's what's up. And I see, like the tangible, like you said, flashiness of the chops. At the same time, you have the tangible tools for work and survival as well. As and to thrive. Because like I said, that album we got is amazing,
Oh,
man.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir,
you.
man. Yes, sir. So, how was your experience at Berkeley?
Uh, my experience at Berkeley was fun. I
Hmm.
will put it that way.
Yeah.
But my experience, I wish, if I had the mindset that I have now,
Hmm.
I would have accomplished way more than I was there. Like
I know what you mean.
my thing was, I wasn't focused on school when I went there. If I'm
Hmm.
being transparent,
Yes, sir.
I went out there. I wanted to make a name for myself. I wanted to gig. I wanted to, like, school was like the last thing on my mind, and it shouldn't have been. Like, I was in such a great position to get scholarships and to get
Hmm.
monies, extra monies, and help, and to I wish I could have took more advantage of my resources there, but I was young minded, and that was my first time. I really, I've always, not always, but when it came to like middle school and high school, I kind of struggled with my attention span and my focus when it came to school. And so, I mean, I had just graduated high school. And so then I took like a year off from school, and then I went off to Berkeley. So I still had those bad habits,
Hmm.
those bad study habits, and no discipline when it came to school.
Hmm.
And honestly, I was so happy that I was there, but also I was distracted from trying to gig, trying to make a name for myself, and also, women at the time. Like,
Hmm. Yes, sir.
you know what I mean? Like
Yes,
being
sir.
around a lot of creative women, and they're
Right.
attractive,
Exactly.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
So it's
different,
just
man.
it's completely, especially when you come from a small city,
Hmm.
like, and you see a certain type of women your
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
life, and then you go out and you see this, and you're like, wow, you know what I
Wow.
mean? And and then I was getting attention because, like, I was this young kid on the block, talented kid, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I was just distracted with the wrong things. By all means, I enjoyed my time at Berkeley. I just did not apply myself how I wish I could have
Yeah. I know what
at
you mean.
Berkeley.
Hmm.
It's especially with the money that my father um that my father, you know, gave me to
Hmm.
go to school,
Yeah.
because it's like I got admitted to Berkeley, but
Hmm.
I didn't get a scholarship, and
Hmm.
so that's everybody's story, really. Like, a lot of kids take out loans, and by the time they're done with Berkeley, they're $100,000 in
Tons in
debt,
debt. Yeah.
or really $300,000, $400,000 in debt,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
even when I was going to Berkeley was, in all, like, after I read the tally sheet for myself, it was
Hmm.
$63,000 a year.
Wow.
$63,000 that
Yeah.
my dad paid out of pocket. My dad signed some stuff and did all this crazy paperwork to dip into his 401k early
Hmm.
for me to go to Berkeley. And so I think even till this day, that makes me feel a way that I
Yeah,
didn't handle business after my dad sacrificed what he sacrificed.
yeah,
And so I think that's another reason why I go so hard musically with
yeah,
everything
man.
that I do. But luckily, I had got a second chance. You know, I went to Indiana University, and honestly, my mindset was different. My focus on school was completely different. And so, like, honestly, I learned way more at Indiana University, which their music school is great. Jacobs School of Music. Their music school is one of the top music schools in the nation as well. And I did, I handled a lot of business there. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Like I did what I need to do. I had good grades and all that type of stuff. So
Hmm.
I made up for that. But at Berkeley specifically, I my thing is what I want to tell people is like, yeah, Berkeley has a great name. Berkeley has great resources. Berkeley has a lot of talented individuals there, but you don't have to go to Berkeley to get that education.
Hmm.
You can go somewhere else and get that same education, if not a better education, you know what I mean, from a school that is more affordable. So for instance, there's a school that I'm in right now where
Hmm.
I'm studying jazz studies.
Yes, sir.
Um, it's called Tri-C. It is a community college here in Cleveland,
Hmm.
but it has one of the top music programs in the nation, and it is a community college. So, and mind you, the curriculum, when I tell you the curriculum is to a T like Berkeley, like they have a
Wow.
program where if you finish their program, then you can go to Berkeley. So when I tell you I went in there, because when I tell you I saved all my Berkeley books, I didn't have to buy any books for school or nothing,
Wow.
because the same books that we used at Berkeley are the same books that we use at Tri-C. I'm
Hmm.
telling you. And when I tell you that I only had to spend what to be a full-time student, like I spent like maybe like $400
Yeah, that's
to
cheap.
get the same education that I
Yeah,
paid 63,000,
yeah,
63,400. Like you
yeah.
can't
That's
beat that.
crazy. Yeah, yeah. You can't.
And so a lot of people get caught up in the Berkeley name, and I did too.
Hmm.
I did too, because at the time when I was going to Berkeley, Sean Wright was there,
Yeah, yeah.
Joe Cleveland was there, Nick Smith had just left,
Hmm.
Jan Hunter had just graduated,
Hmm.
Taylor Gordon had just graduated,
Hmm.
Matt Garska had
Yeah.
just literally just graduated,
Hmm.
JP Bruve had just graduated, but he was still around Berkeley.
Hmm.
Just some big names,
Yeah.
some people that are doing big things now,
Right
you
now.
know what I
Right.
mean, that were there right there at the time. And I'm chilling, hanging out with them every single day type deal.
Hmm.
But just don't I'm if for anybody that's listening, whether you're listening now or whether you listen to this later on,
Hmm.
don't get caught up in the name of Berkeley, because you can get that same education somewhere else for way cheaper, way cheaper. You don't have to go to Berkeley to become something. And there's a ton of people that I know who are not even utilizing the diploma or the degree that they got at Berkeley,
Hmm.
like at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're not even in their field that they got their degree at.
Yeah.
And so now you're $300,000 in debt for what? Why? To say that you went somewhere
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
you'd have to pay all of that back.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
all
man.
in all, just to tie this in, because I don't want to harp on that too much, but my experience at Berkeley was great, but also it was bad only because of the seeds that I was sowing while I was
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that's my fault, because
Right.
I didn't utilize my time there.
Right. 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 Right.
I was focused on the wrong stuff. But yeah,
Mm.
it was I wouldn't trade it for the world though. I would not
Right.
trade it for the world. Those
Yeah.
memories that I have will forever be with me. I'm glad I connected with the people that I connected with. So many connections that have helped me in my career, even now.
Hmm.
Like long time, forever friends that I met at Berkeley while I was there. Like we're still friends. We still talk every day type deal.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was some great that came from Berkeley, but also some bad that I had to learn from. But I
Most
needed to
definitely.
go through that bad
Yeah.
to get to the point to where I am today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. You said a lot right there, my brother. Yes, sir. So, and that kind of ties into kind of both of my next questions. So I'll ask them simultaneously. So, what are
Okay.
some other misconceptions about walking into a school of music? And then what was the like the most important moment or standout moment that you had while being at Berkeley?
Okay. So the misconception, especially about Berkeley, specifically,
Hmm.
is a lot of people, a lot of people don't understand that like Berkeley it's its own small like community, and so you're paying all this money to be in this small community, and you're paying all this money, and you expect Berkeley to be this top tier like amazing place, but really in reality, like in some instances it wasn't. Like, dude, like we had like when I first got there, like there were some dorm rooms that I saw like cardboard under the door, and I'm like, what's the cardboard for? And they're like, man, like Berkeley got mice problems. I'm like, what? Mice?
Yo, wow, bro.
I'm like, mice? What are you talking about? Mice? And
Yo,
like, bro, like I had like I named him. I named him Jerry. You know, like Tom and Jerry.
yo,
I had a mouse in my dorm. Like, bro, I had to put snare drums on top of my trash can because
yo.
I had a yeah, like there was mice in the dorms. Um, I mean, I don't know. Like everybody thinks that Berkeley's just this like prestige, like perfect campus, but it really wasn't. Like at the time it wasn't. Like at the time, now they got this big old huge skyscraper. Like they had 150. So the places that you would stay was 150 Mass. Uh I want to say, dang, I can't remember the names of them. It's like 260 Commonwealth. I think it's 260, and then like the one I stayed in was like 98 Hemingway.
Hmm.
So these are three dorms that was like well like the main places that everybody stayed in if you stayed in the
Okay.
housing. And so 98 Hemingway, like I loved my dorm because I had my own personal bathroom,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. So I didn't have to share my bathroom, but each dorm had mice. Like it didn't matter. It didn't matter which dorm you stayed in. The 150 was the newest ones at the time. Yeah, 150. You had, like I said, what was it 260 Commonwealth, and then like I said 98. And so 260 and then 98 were the older ones. But everybody had mice, and at the time they were building 160.
Hmm.
160 is this big old skyscraper that they have for Berkeley now,
Nice, nice.
which is super nice. But they were building it at the time, like they only had the steel up while I was there.
Oh, there. Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah,
If I would have stayed there if I would have came back that next year, it was ready to go. You know what I mean? But I didn't stay long enough. But
yeah.
another misconception is like, I mean, it's a lot of competition. You got a lot of young, talented prodigy individuals all in one place, and so
Right.
it's a lot of competition, and it's a lot of backstabbing. Now,
Yeah.
don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, a lot of people are cool, and a lot of people
Hmm.
do have your back, but it's also a lot of people who don't like you for whatever reason, or are
Right.
intimidated by your gift, or intimidated by your personality, because you're bringing all these creatives into one space that are from all over the world.
Right.
And so, I mean, there's a stigma on black music. There's a certain snobbiness that
Hmm.
others have when it
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
like neo soul and gospel music.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you're a black drummer, you're automatically a gospel
Super.
chops
Yeah.
drummer.
Yeah.
Like, those are the type of things I had to deal with. Like, walking in, like, I wanted to play R&B. I wanted to play neo soul when I was there, but if somebody heard me play and he didn't look like me, he's like, "Oh yeah, he's a gospel chops drummer."
Hmm.
And mind you, gospel chops isn't a genre.
Right. Exactly. The
Gospel
DVD.
chops, right? You know what I mean? Like gospel chops is a whole company, a whole
Yeah.
entity. You know what I mean? Like people, I find that disrespectful when you take gospel chops as a company and you make it. It's not a genre of
Right,
music.
exactly, bro.
It's not a certain way to play drums. You know what I mean? But they were saying gospel chops in a way to say, "Oh, you're a black drummer."
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And so those are just a few things like that I had to deal with there, or um, but that was mainly just at Berkeley. Now at
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs School of Music, it was completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the Tri-C School of Music that I'm at right now, it's completely different. The whole
Nice.
persona is completely different. Like the level of respect that I get, or not even me being
Yeah,
quote
who you
unquote
are.
who I am,
Mm-hmm.
because when I walk in, I don't tell them what I do. I don't tell them how skilled I am. I don't tell them nothing. I walk in there because I want a normal experience like everybody
Everybody
else.
else, yeah.
So, when they hear me play, they're like, God damn, who's
Yeah,
this kid?
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like it's just different. Like they respect it different in other schools of music,
Yeah.
especially when you show them I want to learn how to play jazz and I want to play jazz authentically. And when they see that you take it serious, then they treat you different. But
Yeah.
if you're just ignorant, just a talented, ignorant kid who's not going to listen to anything, who's not going to try to, get business done and handle things a certain way and
Mhm.
actually take school serious, then yeah, they'll treat you a certain way. But
Yeah, yeah. Most definitely, man. Okay. That's what's up. That is what's up. Okay. So so after leaving Berkeley, what year did you leave Berkeley?
I left Berkeley. I left Berkeley in 2013.
Okay, okay, great, great. Okay, so that brings me back to my next question. So, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, man. So, like that, or I was talking to you about the February 13th post,
Uh huh.
where you were at a studio, and there
Hmm.
was a video that you posted where the guy that was sitting at the control room saying, "Man, hey, this guy's gonna be a legend."
Hmm.
So, walk me through, what that day was and how even all of those connections got started.
Okay, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember that. And so that February post, man, it was. I moved back home.
Mhm.
I moved back to Muncie, and so we had some friends at the local university in my city. The local university is Ball State University. It's a fairly big. It's well, it's I would say it's a medium sized D1 college,
Okay.
and so we had some friends that were engineer majors at the school, and so Ball State had just built these state of the art studios, and so he was looking for people to record, and so me and my homies from Muncie all went up there. We all had material that we was working on. We was working on new music. We was arranging stuff
Mhm.
and all that stuff. And so we would go in there and we would record for hours and hours and hours. And so the specific video that you're speaking of, at that time, I was working on a track for a friend of mine. The dude I was recording, he was
Mhm.
working on some gospel music for an upcoming like album or EP, which it never ever came out.
Wow.
We was working so hard on that music. I just
Mhm.
you know it was I would say it was good concepts, but like what I'm saying, I'm glad he didn't come out with it, because if he comes out with it now, it would sound completely different. It would sound better because we're older, we're more mature, we're
Mhm.
more musically aware, that type of stuff. But so at the time, I was working on that, and so I was getting my tones together for my drums, and they was trying to tell me which cymbals to use, because I had like two K custom fast crashes, and they both sounded like identical, and they was like, no, like you need to change one of them, and we need this type of textures, and we need this, and we need that, you know. And so that's what was going on in that video. It's just like documenting me just recording, or me getting ready to record something for a friend of mine for his upcoming project at the time.
Mhm. And that's crazy that even the guy sitting at the control booth, just seeing you dial your tones in, was just like, man, dude, this guy's gonna be a legend. Because tones is definitely, a part of it when, especially with recording, especially if you get in there with a specific, with very specific artists or very specific engineers, man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's amazing, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's go back a little bit to you moving around a little bit. So after 2013, are you still in Muncie around this
Yeah,
time? Okay.
2013. I was in Muncie from 2013 all the way up until 2014. Then I moved again.
Okay. And so did you move to Nashville then?
No, I see when I from 2013, like I said, I took a little break from school, but the beginning of 2014, I would say 2014, around September, really August
Mm-hmm.
of 2014 is when I moved to Bloomington, Indiana. And
Mm,
that's when I
okay.
started going to Indiana University, which
Okay.
that is a very, very big uh, D1 school.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. So then, all right. So you moved to Nashville, your first time moving there. Tell us what was the reason moving there and what happened like when you first got there. What was it like?
Okay, so Nashville, I moved to Nashville in 2018. I moved
Mm-hmm.
to Nashville on, I remember the exact date and everything. I moved to Nashville on November 26th, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a birthday present to myself. My birthday was on
Nice.
November 25th.
Nice.
And so I wanted to move down there to network, and I loved the city. I loved the atmosphere there. I loved the people, and I had connections there because my brother-in-law lives there. And so, I called him. I'm like, hey man, I'll help you out with rent. I'll
Mm-hmm.
buy food. Let me come down there and stay with you. He was fine with it. He was like, cool, I got you. And
Nice.
so I moved down there, and the reason why I moved down there is because at the time I was kind of exploring my options as far as where I should move because I wanted to kind of continue to advance in my career, but I couldn't where I was because
Yeah.
in Indiana, it's not really much of a music scene in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I still wanted to be close to home. And I also at the time found out that my girlfriend, which is my wife now,
Mm-hmm.
I found out that she was pregnant with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I still wanted to be close enough to where I could drive to Cleveland, which
Right.
Cleveland is 7 hours away from Nashville.
Wow.
And so I picked Nashville. Originally, my idea was to move to LA. I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
move to LA. Like I had my place where I was gonna stay.
Mm-hmm.
I had money saved up. Like I was out of here. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I really think God stopped me in my tracks because as soon as I made the decision to move to LA, like nobody was gonna talk me out of it. Boom, she got pregnant. And mind you, she
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't
Right.
to
Right.
trap me or nothing, but it just was a coincidence. Like, wow, like I finally make this decision to finally move away and finally go out to the West Coast, finally get the courage. And then I get hit with I'm pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so that made me take myself out the way. And so I took a trip to Nashville. I went down there for a few days and I absolutely loved it. I was like, dude, this
Yeah.
reminds me of home.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's so cool. Everybody's so willing to help. Like, dude, I have to come down here. So when I moved to Nashville, the second I moved to Nashville, I instantly started working.
Wow.
Literally instantly started working. I was connecting with people. And mind you, like I had just I had just recently, when did I had just signed earlier that year in 2018. I had just signed like the biggest, I had just signed with the biggest companies.
Mm-hmm.
Pearl, Zildjian,
Mm-hmm.
Evans, all
Yes,
that stuff.
sir.
Like all that stuff came at the same time in
Yeah.
2018, early in
Mm-hmm.
2018. So, bro, I stayed 10 minutes from the Pearl headquarters in Nashville. 10
Wow.
minutes.
Wow.
So I could go there, talk to my rep, hang out with him, go out to eat, like just hang out as friends.
Yeah.
Like go to because the thing is like with the Pearl headquarters, like they don't just let anybody in. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
in order to even step foot into that facility, you have to either be an artist or be working for Pearl
Exactly.
somewhere, you know? And so that was really, really cool being 10 minutes from uh being 10 minutes from the Pearl headquarters, man. Like, they showed me the factory, they showed me like where they make all the Music City custom drums,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
they showed me like all their prototypes of drums that haven't came out
Came
yet.
out yet.
That,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, all that, they're like all the prototypes and them testing, and they're like, they're asking me like, which drum sounds better, you know, which drum looks better, you know, what hardware would you put on this, and you know, asking me questions like that, man. Like,
Hmm.
it was really cool, you know. And so ultimately, to tie this into Nashville, like, I absolutely love Nashville with all of my heart, like,
Yes, sir.
which is why as soon as my two middle children graduate in a couple years, I'm packing my bags with my family,
Hmm.
and we are moving down. We're going back because,
Hmm.
man, like, when I was down there, man, like, I was in I was in such a unique lane when I was down there.
Hmm.
I was playing like a lot of underground hip hop, and I was doing
Nice.
a lot of straight ahead jazz.
Mm.
I was playing a lot of jazz music when I was down there.
Mm.
I wasn't playing no gospel. It was no R&B. Like, I barely
Yeah.
played R&B, but it was mainly all my gigs were straight ahead jazz or underground hip hop stuff.
Hmm.
And
Man.
I loved it. Like, I
Yeah.
loved it. I was in a different lane than everybody there. And
Hmm.
so, you know, meeting new people, they're like, "Who are you? Like, what's your name? Like, I have to connect with you." And I started, you know, recording for people and going to studios, and just like, I was racking up a lot of work, but I put all of that to the side because my family's more important, you
Yes,
know.
sir.
And so it was easier for me to move up to Cleveland than for them to come down to Nashville.
Uh-huh. Right, right, right. Most
So,
definitely, man. Yes, sir, bro. Family first, brother. Yes, sir. So, what type of like being endorsed by Pearl, living there, making all those connections or whatever, what business tips and music, but more so business, what kind of tips did you receive during that time, getting all three of those endorsements and then moving close to one of your endorsees?
man, so okay, so I'll start with early 2018, like during NAM show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, now, matter of fact, this goes all the way back to the Berkeley days. I got connected with, she's my old rep because she's not there anymore, unfortunately. But my old rep from Zildjian, I got connected with her through my private instructor.
Mm-hmm.
My private instructor was Marco Dorjovic. And so at the time, he told Zildjian about me all the way back then. Now, I'm a 21 year old kid back then. And so um, I remember having a conversation with her, and she was like, you know, we're on a signing freeze right now, but stay in contact with me. And, you know, over the years, we'll see how your career develops. I'm like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just glad that I have a toe in the door, just a toe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's another thing people don't understand. They think that these, like, the legit big endorsements, like, they think that they just happen overnight, or they just happen over the internet, and that's not the case, because, you know, I got connected with Zildjian in 2012. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
get signed with Zildjian until 2018,
Mm-hmm.
March of 2018 to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Um, so with that being said, um, I'm trying to tie this all in. Okay, so with that being said, so everything kind of fell into my lap in 2018. Like, God just opened the windows of heaven. Like, I got signed with Zildjian, I got signed with Pearl, I got signed with Groove Gear, I got signed with Evans, I got signed with I think really those were like the main four ones that I got signed with, like, all like almost at the same time. It was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So business wise, what helped me was being the new kid on the block with these companies. Although I was like 26 or 27 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
um, I've learned that these communities are very, very, like, we hear that they're very small, but you don't see how small these companies are as far as like the connections and stuff until you are in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so notes are always exchanged. Like they know about the cats that are going around trying to seek endorsements. They know about like they talk about who is a valuable asset to the company or who's a bad asset to the company.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about all that stuff, and all these reps are friends. Like all these representatives and all that stuff. Like the people who work for these companies, they're all friends. So like at the end of a trade show, at the end of NAMM, they're all sitting at the same bar. Literally. I'm not. I kid you
Yeah.
not, bro.
Yeah.
I kid you not. 2019 NAMM, my Pearl rep, my Evans rep, my Roland rep, like literally are all sitting at the bar, chilling, talking about people that they work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just taught me to conduct myself a certain way, like have my stuff together, like, you know, being in a public eye, like being a certain way. You just have to be a
Mm-hmm.
certain way,
Yeah, you do.
you know. And if you like, don't be a jerk in the industry, because if you're a jerk, like everybody's gonna know about it. If you're an a-hole, everybody's gonna know about it. Everybody's gonna
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. Literally, like there are some drummers that I don't want to name names, but there are
Yeah.
some drummers that have some terrible names with these companies
Wow.
based on how they conduct themselves
Mm-hmm.
in public, whether they're drunks, whether they're always getting into fights, whether they're always fighting with reps or whatever the case is, whether they switch companies all the time.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
they talk about all this stuff. So business wise, like if you are cool with these reps, they will do any and everything for you. It doesn't matter if your contract says that you're supposed to get a percentage off. If they mess with you, you might get something. You
For
might get stuff
free.
for free
Yeah.
because they're your friends.
Yeah.
They're friends. They want to work with
Mm-hmm.
friends. They want to work with people that they can call a friend. So it's like at the end of the day, like when it comes to my rep from Pearl, John, I can call John and be like, "What's up, man?" And we can talk about any and everything under the sun other than drums or other
Mm-hmm.
than products. Like call and check in and be like, "Man, I just want to see how you're doing, man. I hope all is well with you. I hope everything is going good with your life and with your, with your family." You know, like we used to just literally go out to eat and chill. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we used to go out and get drinks together and get drunk together. Like that's the type of relationship you want to have, because they are going to look out for you. As long as it's in their power, they're going to look out
They're gonna
for you.
do it. Yeah. Yeah.
So that alone, like me being cool with my reps, like cool to where they take me out to eat
Yeah.
and all that stuff like that. Like, bro, when I went to PASIC, this all gonna tie in. So
Mm-hmm.
when I went to PASIC one year, it was my first year at PASIC ever. And I mean, bro, I'm sitting at the table with Calvin Rogers, Dennis Chambers, Aaron Spears, uh, who else? Todd Zuckerman,
Mm-hmm.
like big, huge legends, heavy hitters, and I'm the youngest one at the table. Mind you,
Yeah.
I'm still 27, 20,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still 27, but these cats are in their mid 30s and
Mm-hmm.
up,
Up. Yeah. Right. Right.
like like true legends, like
Yeah.
veterans in
Yeah.
the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here at the same table uh having a steak dinner at the most expensive restaurant that you can possibly think of,
Wow.
like literally like $200 plates.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
these and I don't have to pay for nothing.
Right.
And they're telling me get whatever drinks I want, however many drinks I want. They're paying for it all. And like that's what I'm saying. Like there is levels to this, not just the endorsement game, but it's
Right.
levels to this music business as far as these companies respecting you.
Right. Right. Right.
And so once I got in like that, to where I'm sitting next to Dennis Chambers and he's having conversations with me and he's showing me like exclusive clips on his phone of George Duke and Billy Cobham playing in the 70s and people have never heard of, and
Wow.
you know what I'm saying, having steak dinners and drinking shots with all of my reps and getting drunk with drummers that I've always looked up to my whole entire life.
Right.
Like being on that level, then I can start requesting certain things, like when I do clinics and drum clinics and stuff like that. Like I get paid by these companies.
Hmm.
Like not only do I get my fee, but these companies give me money when I'm doing these, when I'm doing
Yeah,
these clinics and stuff
yeah.
too. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's more than just gear. They'll
Mm-hmm.
have your back
Mm-hmm.
financially as well. You know what I mean? But although, thankfully, thank God, like I haven't paid for a lot of stuff, man. Like because they have my back. Like these companies have my back, but I have their back. Like
Yeah.
these are companies that I truly believe in. Like these are companies that I truly love. I truly love Pearl. I truly love Evans. I truly love Zildjian. I truly, as you can see, I truly
Mm-hmm.
love Roland. Like
Yes, sir.
all these keyboards back here, rolling, 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 rolling. The electronics over there, rolling. The triggers over there, rolling. Like these are companies and these are things that I've been using my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just me just trying to get on with them because I want a deal.
Get on,
No,
right.
these cats know that I really truly mess with these companies. So I'm trying to build an empire with them. The higher I go up in my career, the higher up that they'll continue to go and the higher up that they'll respect me. And
Mm-hmm.
so it just taught me how to conduct myself and how to communicate and talk and be a cool, genuine, loving individual. Because if you're a true, genuine individual, that is going to spill out, and people will be able to sense that and feel it, and they'll love it, and they'll love you, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
do anything to help you.
Exactly.
And so that's what helped me in this business, man. Just being, I mean, just blunt, just being a cool ass nigga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, facts, facts, facts. Facts,
Like
bro.
people ask me all the time, like, man, how do you do this? How do you do that? Bro, I'm cool with
I'm
everybody.
cool. Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have no problems. Like, yeah, there might be some cats out here that may feel a type of way about me, but that's their personal issue. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something that I've done,
Right.
because I treat everybody that I encounter. I don't care if you got a big name. I don't care if I don't know you from a can of paint. I treat
Mm-hmm.
you the same.
Yeah.
I literally treat everybody the same. I talk to everybody the same. If anybody has a question in my inbox or anything like that, if I
Mm-hmm.
see anything, like, I respond. I talk to everybody. I give gems. Like, I give out information. I don't withhold information. I've always been an open book, always, because I want people to be an open book to me, and I want people to respect me. So it's like how I want to be treated, I treat them.
Yeah.
And so in the long run, like, dude, like, I've been able to fully like furnish my entire home studio with a lot of this gear I didn't pay for. Just being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so now, granted, I did pay for all these joints. I did, because these are
Yeah.
like, a lot of these keyboards are like vintage. Like, this is vintage. This is vintage.
Oh, nice.
All these are vintage up here, over here. This is the most modern joint down here.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
this is a Roland Jupiter X. This just came out just this year,
Mm-hmm.
and then the System 8 came out like a couple years ago. But you know what I'm saying. But as far as drum wise, oh, bro, like, what? Like, Evans, like, I don't pay for Evans heads. Like, I have so many drum heads, like, that I haven't even used in years that I ordered. Like, they show love. And that's
Mm-hmm.
not me. This isn't me boasting. This is me saying, if I can do it, you can do it. If you conduct yourself this way, this is what's going to happen. This is the favor of God that'll shower on you, literally. And so that has helped me financially, because I don't have to spend thousands of dollars
Yeah.
on
On
a ton of
gear.
gear.
Mm-hmm.
I can use that money elsewhere to put towards my record, or put towards studio gear, or put towards, getting my music copywritten,
Right.
or, you know, handling royalties, or getting my clothing line out, or,
Yes, sir.
paying for photo shoots, and, just paying for a new
Mm-hmm.
camera, like
Right.
stuff like that. So it's like I can put my money elsewhere, and then also put more money into my family.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's most important, man. And since you were touching on the keys, man, I wanted to get a little bit of background of, man, okay, mostly sometimes, or most of the times, we see MDs from the keyboard, especially
Mhm.
us as drummers. When I started this little podcast, I wanted to kind of do like a behind the drummer niche, what I'm saying? Get our perspective, since we're literally usually on stage behind the artist, to
Mhm.
get our different perspectives, because it's like one of us giving energy to not only the artist and the band, but then to the entire crowd. So
Mm-hmm.
with MDing, you have to kind of sort of, kind of manage that and not get, like lost in the sauce, as they say.
Yeah.
So what was it like MDing from the drums? Like, when did you start doing that?
Well, I really started first MDing from the drums at church. Like that was my
Mm-hmm.
first time like truly MDing. And honestly, I'll be honest, like I was inexperienced at it at first.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was inexperienced at it at first because like with MDing, you have to do it's more than just you like giving signals or signaling transitions.
Mm-hmm.
MDing is you making sure everybody's on time, making sure everybody rehearses, making sure everybody gets the music, making sure, if something needs to change that you let everybody know that something's changing
Change.
and,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then I feel like the last part of it is really signaling and telling people what chords to hit or whatever. But MDing is difficult within itself because when you have to MD, you have to know everybody's part.
Part. Yeah.
You have to know the keyboard part. You have to know what the keyboard is doing. You have to know what the guitar player is supposed to be doing. You're supposed to know what the bass player is supposed to do, what notes they're supposed to be hitting, and all that stuff. Like it, but it's still more than that. Like for instance, when I got the opportunity to be the music director for the World of Dance tour, the NBC World of Dance tour. Um, all business went through me. Like they
Hmm.
didn't talk to the band, they talked to me.
Right.
I was the one figuring out flights. I had to
Yeah.
disperse, like get all the information from them and email all the head people of the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was the one to talk about monies, how much we were getting paid. I was the one that had to turn in or submit our backline, our
Mm-hmm.
backline list. I had to. I was the one that had to make sure that everybody made it on time to all their flights,
Mm-hmm.
made it to sound check on time, woke up on time. If there were any changes in the show, I was ahead of that. I was the one that had to create the show.
Yes, sir.
Um, you know what I'm saying? As far as putting all the songs together. And of course I had help, but I was the main guy doing it. And I did it all through Logic and ran the whole show through Logic. And it was a lot. Like I was wearing a lot of hats. Like it was more than just me signaling and hey, do this or go here or go back. It wasn't just that. It was
Mm-hmm.
more so on I'm ahead of business.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
representing all of us as far as the business is concerned. So
Exactly.
when it's time to get paid, they give me all the checks and I
Mhm.
distribute all the checks. So it was more so that stuff. And I appreciate my experience with World of Dance because I mean, not only was that like my first major tour,
Mhm.
but that was my first major tour being an MD.
Yes, sir.
And so, and it was a very unique situation because I mean, World of Dance is all dancing. And so there was a segment where they had freestyle like hip hop dancing. And like I had to create a 30-minute show of like transition music and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We had to rehearse like because everybody was freestyling and dancing and all, and doing their thing, two
Mhm.
hour music. And it
Yeah.
was it was dope, man. It was dope. It was really dope. Like
I bet.
it was thousands of people because it was a nationwide
Yeah. Event. Yeah.
competition. It
Mhm.
was a dance competition. And for anybody that would win that specific city, they would go to the finals, which the
Yeah.
finals would happen in LA. And then if you win the finals, then you have a chance to be on the actual NBC show World of Dance.
Okay. Nice.
So it was a lot of pressure, man. That was the first time that I ever did anything like that. And I was glad that I had got great response. They was like, man, we appreciate you being so easy to work with. We thank you for being so responsible and handling business quickly and all that stuff. Like I was glad that I got good responses from them because that was my first time ever being in that type of position.
Right.
And also being in that position of being MD, you have to deal with things that you don't want to deal with.
Mhm.
Meaning, sometimes, like, I'll be honest, I'll be transparent. Like, I try to put my friends in
Yeah.
these situations. And sometimes you can't put your friends in these situations because one, your friends are your friends. So they respect you to a certain extent, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just Aaron to them.
Right.
So if I'm giving certain orders that have came from the top and I have to say it a certain way or I have to go about it a certain way, they feel a type of way. So I
Yeah.
lost, bro, I lost friends because, you know, there were situations that was going on where unfortunately, I had to replace a band member
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, he was going back and forth as far as if he wanted to do it or not. And World of Dance didn't want to work with him anymore. So they was like,
Yeah.
do you have anybody else that you could work with? So I said, sure. So I had to call somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so that caused strife and contention between me and him. You know, he felt a type of way, and there was rumors going around that I was going around saying that I fired him, and it was nothing like that at all.
Right. Right.
It's just like, bro, you can't do it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Although they expressed to me that they didn't work with him anymore, I didn't tell him that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
I kept it cordial. Like, bro, it's all good. Like, stay, do your Sunday gig or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'll have to get somebody else.
Right.
But you know, that put a bad taste in their mouth. And
Right.
that's a representation of me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, so I had to, but then I also had to deal with um somebody wanted to play keys for the World of Dance tour.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't the right fit, but they were a
Wow.
friend of mine. They
Yeah.
weren't they just weren't the right fit. Like I can't always put my friends on because you may not be the right fit for this certain gig.
Yeah.
And when I tell you he felt a type of way and he didn't talk to me for like a year and he blocked me and deleted me and you know, it's like you can't be emotional when it comes to these type of decisions
Business.
that you have to
Yeah,
make
man.
as a music director. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
And that's something I had to learn too. It's like I can't always put my friends as much as I want to put my niggas on, like as talented as my niggas are. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? As much as I want to be like, hey, bro, I got this situation going on. Like, as soon as I get on, I got you. No, I can't have that
Yeah.
mindset because niggas do
Yeah.
flaky nigga stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, man, I had to think about that. Like next time, it's like, nigga, I can't call my niggas. I gotta call
Yeah.
niggas that I know will get the job done,
Done.
not my niggas. Although I thought my niggas could get the
Ex-
job done.
Exactly. Right. Right. That's why you my nigga in the first place. Like,
Right,
you know?
exactly. But no, I had to call other cats, man. Like I had to call
Yeah.
other cats and replace them. And that was another strain because then they got to switch the checks around and
Yeah.
change the names and throw out the old checks and you know switch flights and that's more
Yeah.
money. And because you know they was flying us out to every city,
Man.
and so it was a lot, man. It was really stressful, but it really showed me like I can't call certain cats for stuff no more.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, but on a business aspect, I will never work with you ever again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's being and I guess that goes into my next question about what are some tips, and you gave us definitely a lot of tips on what to give a drummer who wants to start MDing. But what I guess what's I guess the first step of a drummer that's like, hey man, I want to do this, but I'm not sure because like, yeah, I do have to learn all the music. Does that mean I'll have to learn or learn all the parts? Does that mean I have to learn keys and learn guitar in order to lead them and learn,
Hell yeah.
157? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
You
yeah,
gotta
go
learn.
go
You
with
gotta
the
learn all that. You gotta learn, bro. You gotta learn all that shit, man.
yeah,
Like you gotta learn all of it. Like you gotta learn it all. Like for one, like church alone. Like how you gonna call numbers and you don't know what the hell the numbers are?
right, exactly.
You know what I mean? You gotta learn the numbers. Like yeah, we know four. We know what four sounds like and five, but like you have to really like not only are you like from a church perspective, not only
Right.
are you calling numbers and stuff, but you have to sense the flow. Like you have to flow and you have to be anointed. Like you have to know what to play, when to play it, and what not to play.
Yeah.
Because one false move, then the whole Holy Spirit will leave.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you hit one wrong chord, one wrong note, one wrong snare or cymbal, it'll disrupt what is going on in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just church alone. But just I would say for drummers that are trying to be MDs, um, train your ear.
Yeah.
I would say train your ear because you have to hear everything. Don't just listen to the drums as a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen to drums as a producer
Yep.
or from the outside looking in, because everybody else hears drums different than what a drummer hears drums.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I would say, it helps to, you don't have to be a killer beast on keys or nothing, but it helps to learn to play a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be in there like, play this chord. What chord, bro? And you can't name it or anything. You no, not that one. I don't like
Yeah,
that one.
like,
Change. Like no, like you got to actually tell cats what to play and certain lines to play and certain things that are going wrong or whatever the case is. Like you have to be alert and listening and hear everything that's going on.
exactly.
And that's whether it's church or on a big stage. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. Like you just have to know each part.
Mm-hmm.
But that comes into being like a producer. Like you have to really be a producer in order to effectively be a music director. Because there's a lot of cats that don't even have to necessarily play, but they're great MDs
Mm-hmm.
because they have great ears and they pay attention. But ultimately, it's the business aspect that's the bigger thing, really.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
one who's directly working with the artist and talking to the artist back and forth and trying to figure out what the artist wants. And if they, sometimes the artist may not. Me and Kyrie, Tyler was talking about this yesterday. He was talking about it on he had a Zoom call, and he
Okay.
was like, sometimes, because he's the music director for Khalid, and he's like, man, Khalid don't listen to the arrangements until like before he goes on stage, like sound check.
Wow.
And he was no, literally, and he was like, there was one arrangement that he did, and Khalid was like, I don't like that.
Hmm.
So you have to literally know what to do in order to fix something, change something, know how to run whatever DAW that you use to program.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta know how to maneuver and change quickly. You have to be effective quickly.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing about being an MD. You can't be lazy. Like you cannot.
Most
You have to be
definitely.
on your P's and Q's at all times.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Most definitely, man. Those are some great gems, bro. I definitely appreciate that, man. So I guess we might be going a little backwards because I'm not too familiar when you started playing for them or how you actually got linked up with them. But how did you get linked up with the Williams Singers, man? Because that one song that you
Soul
did the
Saver.
solo on, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Everybody loves that, bro. Everybody waits for you.
man.
You know what I'm saying? After that one,
They
bro,
literally
we're like,
do.
dude,
It's crazy.
what is he gonna do this time? You know what I'm saying? So how did you get linked up with them, bro?
Man, I got linked up with the Williams Singers. It's such a I love those are my brothers. Like
Yeah.
I love them niggas to death, man. Like they have like they're the Williams Singers is a big reason why I play the way that I play. Like they've helped me learn to establish patterns in drumming. You know what I mean? Like to look
Yeah.
at it as far as patterns, look at sections as patterns. So I got linked up with them when I was 19. So I've been playing for them for 10 years.
Mm.
So I got linked up with them at the age of 19. Their main drummer at the time could not do a certain gig or certain show. And so I had some homies of mine from the area call me and was like, hey, bro, the Williams Singers are looking for a drummer, man. And we put your name in the hat, man. And so you down to play with the Williams Singers. I'm like, nigga, hell yeah. Like, let's
Yeah,
go,
right, right.
But this is my first time I ever playing quartet. Like I knew nothing about quartet, nothing about it at all whatsoever. I just thought like listening to all the other quartet stuff is just, but it's not that at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
quartet is actually quite complex, very complex and quite difficult how simplistic it is.
Yeah.
And so man, yeah, so I got linked up with them. I did a gig with them for like we did this like Bobby Jones like taping, not taping. It was like a Bobby Jones like music event or something like that. It was like in like Cincinnati or something. And And then I went on tour with them afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And like I went on tour with them at 19. That was like my second like gospel tour that I've ever done.
Yeah.
And like, bro, the first night I almost got fired. Like
Wow.
they were thinking about like having a nigga go home type
Yeah.
deal. And it was only because I was just inexperienced. Like I just did not
Mm-hmm.
know quartet. I didn't understand what they wanted. I didn't understand what they needed as, at me being a drummer for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't understand it. So it's just like there was a cat like it was a game changing. You had those game changing moments in your
Yeah.
life sometimes. So one of my game changing moments was I got off it was a big show that we did. It was the first night,
Mm-hmm.
and I got off the stage, and there's a guy. He lives in Memphis. His name is Tony Bush. Tony Bush is probably one of the greatest. Like, not only is he a great musician, a great drummer, but he's like one of the greatest quartet drummers of our generation. Like, literally. And so I watched him play and I was like, that's how you play quartet. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he was setting up stuff and he was, no, mind you, he was still modern,
Mm-hmm.
but he still gave you that quartet feel, but he was still modern with it. So he was setting up certain things and doing crossovers and doing certain chops. And I'm like, that's how I want to play.
Right.
That's how I need to play. And so Tony Bush changed my whole outlook on quartet drumming and the way I should respect it and the way that I should approach it. And so after they pulled me aside and had that lecture with me, that after I almost got fired, literally the next day I changed up the way that I played. And they were like, bro, you played perfect. But it was because I listened to Tony Bush, man. Like I soaked in and took in everything that he did, like everything to a T, like stole his whole swag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally, I stole his whole swag, but then eventually I made it my own. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like it all started. Yeah, what was that? That was 2011 when I started playing for them.
Nice.
Literally 2011, and so I've been playing for them ever since. And you know, and it's been dope.
Yeah,
They're
man.
all they're from Indianapolis. So growing up with them, I got to see a lot of stuff, and they've helped me in the industry and stuff like that as well, like how to
That's what's up.
maneuver and how to conduct myself
Yes,
in this
sir.
industry, and ultimately, like I said, how to play drum patterns, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
playing the same thing over and over like a broken record,
Yeah.
so you can
Yeah.
sound like a loop. Like
Yeah.
I got that from them,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, man. Those are wise working words. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes, sir.
so you're playing with Williams singers, and then all of a sudden you get a gig, or you get a call to go to Rio and play, man. What was it like playing, traveling, and singing Rio?
All right, so that was a crazy experience in my life. I went to Rio, what was it, 2016? It was 2016 when I went to Rio. And so my wife is crazy. My wife is my manager. So she was
Yes,
always my
sir.
manager. She was always my manager, even when we were boyfriend and girlfriend. Like
Mm-hmm.
any transactions, any type of anything that I do business wise, musically, goes through her. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of it, especially drum clinics and all that stuff. Like it goes through her. And so with that being said, like the whole Rio situation was really, really dope. That was my first time like that far away from America.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've been out the country before, but not that far. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like I'm
right,
on the other side of the equator. Like I'm
right.
so far away that nigga, it was summer here and it was winter there type
Yeah,
deal. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And so I was nervous at first because I mean I was traveling by myself, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was traveling by myself and I had to catch all these flights and all this stuff. And this was it was a little bit easier to travel because the travel ban in Rio was opened up because the Olympics were there that year.
Ah.
So when I landed, Like, bro, when I tell you they put up these like arenas and stadiums in like within like a month.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so it was amazing. It was amazing to see Rio. Like, although it was winter, it was still warm.
Right.
Like, it was still super warm. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't go below like 50 degrees, 50, 60. You know
Wow.
what I mean? And so they showed me around the city, and I had an interpreter with me, and he spoke really, really great English. So it was like I'm talking to you right now. You
Okay.
know,
Nice. Nice.
and so it was really easy to communicate with people because I had him with me at all times, and plus, like, although he was younger than me, he knew Rio, and so I felt like protected with him,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so man, it was dope. Like, it was beautiful. Of course, like, when you get there, like, it doesn't look nothing like the pictures and stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have to understand, like, it's a third world country. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like, it looks like a third world country, but
Exactly.
it's still beautiful within that. And then
Exactly. Yeah.
the hearts of the people, ultimately,
Yeah.
the hearts of the people in Brazil. I love Brazilian people
Mm-hmm.
because they are so warm-hearted.
Yeah.
They are so cool. Like, they are so just giving. Like, I had some of the best times of my life in Rio. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like, being around those people, being around that culture. And I mean, that was definitely the biggest clinic that I've ever done. It was probably like 300 something people at that clinic.
Nice. Nice.
Like, completely packed out from front to back.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing, man. It was absolutely amazing. Like, I tell anybody, like, they should see Rio at least once in their lifetime. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you should go to Rio at least once in your lifetime. And so it's beautiful. It's beautiful there. Absolutely beautiful. But just don't be caught walking around with a ton of jewelry. Like, don't
Yeah.
look like an American. Like, you can't help to look like an American, but don't try your best to
Yeah.
blend in the best way that you can, because I mean, human trafficking is a real thing there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and their hoods ain't like the hoods that we know. You know
Exactly.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
America got hoods, but nigga, they got hoods there. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go anywhere. Like, whenever I was done with the clinic, or whenever I was done touring the city and stuff with them, I would go straight to my hotel and
Yeah.
not move, because it's like I'm foreign there. I didn't wear a ton of like jewelry and all that stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not about to be standing out looking crazy.
Right.
So
Right.
I so I
Exactly.
so I can get robbed.
Yeah. Right. Nah.
But no, it was a good experience, man. It was amazing. Like, if I could go back in time and do that again, I would. But
That's
I'm
what's
supposed
up.
to be going back. I'm supposed to be going back again. I was supposed to go back last year, but the pandemic hit.
Mm.
And so we had to cancel that. It was a 3-city tour this time instead of just Rio. It was going to be
Wow.
Rio, Sao Paulo, and another city I can't remember. So it's going to be a 3-city tour. But yeah, it got canceled due to COVID.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Oh
Yeah.
man, the whole year got canceled. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Right. Right. So,
Literally, the whole year got canceled.
for real. What year did you say you went to Rio?
2016.
Okay, cool, cool. Okay, so was that before or after you participated in the 2016 drum off? And what did it show you about yourself as a player and the competition?
That was before the competition. So I
Okay.
went. I went to Rio. I went to Rio. It was June. I went to Rio, and the drum competition doesn't start until, I want to say, like August or September.
Yeah, 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 you're right.
And so, you know, what what the competition showed me was, I mean, for one, I'm not a competition drummer. I just wanted to see how far I was gonna go with
Mm-hmm.
just my pure talent. And also, like, I didn't have a routine. Like, I just got up there and just played
Played.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even with that, it shows me how talented I am or how gifted I am. And I thank God for that, because it's like, I won the store. Although I did not win the district, I won the store that I played in. I won that. You know what I mean? And so, and it's like I made it to districts by me just freestyling.
Mm-hmm.
There were cats that had whole routines together,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, flipping the sticks and doing
yeah,
all
yeah.
this, and I wasn't doing none of that. I was
Straight
just, you
playing.
know, I was just playing, you know. And so, although I feel like I was kind of cheated out of districts because I felt like the stuff that I played went over the judges' heads.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they were looking for creativity and stick tricks and transitions and all that.
Yeah.
And I was just playing the shit out of the drums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is, man. Like I just wanted that under my belt. I just wanted to say that I did it, that I tried.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so although I didn't go about it the right way, it wasn't a championship winning solo. Definitely not, because I was playing random stuff. But it does show me that it's like, man, I can play though. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I
Most
mean?
definitely. Most definitely.
So, you know, it was just a fun experience. It was just something just to kind of buy some time, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
I saw that they was doing it again, and I was just like, well, shoot, let me just hop in it and see how far I get just to
Yeah, yeah.
clown around.
Mm-hmm.
So
Most
I didn't
definitely,
take it
man.
serious.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't take it
most
serious at
definitely.
all.
Most definitely. Yeah, because I've seen um some of the winners. And
Hmm.
it's crazy how like some of the hitters are like some of the winners are like hit or miss like afterwards. Like
Hmm.
I forgot the Latin cat's name that won, but he still does stuff. I want to say his
You
name is
talking about Carlos Mendoza?
yeah. Carlos, he
Oh,
still
he's
does
amazing.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
he's
Carlos.
great,
Yep.
bro.
He's
Um,
amazing. See, and the thing that cats don't understand about the drum off is like it's a way to catapult your career if you go about it the right way. And
mm,
Carlos did it the right way. He always wanted to be an instructor.
mm-hmm.
So he came out with he did a drum. He took the money and invested into, you know, getting a drum school together and video cameras and all that other stuff. Like now he has a full out like drum school.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you know, a lot of cats, you know, win the drum off and they take the money and they spend it on random stuff, or you know, and they don't invest in themselves as a
Yeah.
brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like the drum off is a way that you can catapult yourself as a brand.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of cats just be like, okay, I won that, and now it's time to try to get a gig and play with this artist. It's like, no, bro, it literally sets you up to do your own thing.
Own thing. Yeah. Yeah. That's a gem, bro. That's a gem. I've never heard anyone explain the drum off in that type of way. You know what I'm saying? Because what was the guy's name? D Mile. I don't know if you remember his performances.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah,
D
man,
Mile.
dude, like that performance was solid. And then I have either it's been my own naivety, but I haven't seen anything from him like since then. And there's been like some other drummers that like the guy that what did the handstand with the kick pedal before he did his competition. Like, what is that guy doing and stuff like that? It's crazy because he got a lot of views, but he didn't win. But
Right,
even
right.
like you're saying, taking that exposure, what can you do with it to put yourself on? Because that's really how to put yourself on. What I'm getting from you is how to gain the momentum of putting yourself on or establishing
Yes.
yourself as a
Yeah,
freelance high
establishing.
level
Yeah.
musician.
Hmm. As an independent musician, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or an artist. I mean,
Exactly.
so with D Mile, one thing that with D Mile, what I wish that D Mile did was, I wish D Mile, I wish that he did what he's doing now, right now.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, what D Mile is doing is he came out with he has a band.
Mm.
Um, he has a band with his girlfriend.
Oh,
And
nice.
they're called We Are Glitch.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like arranging, he's playing like the keys, he's playing the drums, of course. And like they have a whole record out.
Nice.
Like and this is no knock to D-Mile at all. Like I love
Mhm.
D-Mile, I respect him, and he is an absolute monster on drums. Like
Yeah.
I shared it with him in LA, and he was whooping my ass like a few years ago. But no, man, I believe that, like, when you win stuff like that, man, like you just have to utilize it the right way. And sometimes us as black um musicians, we don't know how to go about things sometimes. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like we just don't know how to we don't really have the proper guidance when it comes to certain stuff like that. Like, because I truly believe if D Mile took that, if he had took that momentum that he had, you know what I'm saying, he could really, really be in a better position than what he is now.
Mhm.
Not saying that he's in a bad position by all
Right.
means, but
Just like a higher
that
level.
yeah, but that could have helped. But I feel like, over the years, like and he's just one example. There's all types of drummers that have won, and
Yeah.
you don't hear nothing else about them.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
you know what I'm saying? But this is like, there are ways where you can come up with multiple streams of income being a Guitar Center drum off winner. Like, you
Mhm.
can just do like what Carlos did and do lessons and start a school, or you can start branding yourself as an artist and start doing your own thing like Jerome Flood is doing.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like Jerome Flood is
Mhm.
doing this thing. Like Tony Taylor,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's
Shouts
doing
out.
this thing. You know what I mean? So there are cats out there who did take did take it to the next level after they won. But the saddest story of the Guitar Center drum off, to me, the absolute saddest story is Ramon Sampson.
Oh, bro, I was gonna bring up his name, but I just watched his Energy drum cover that he dropped, and I was like, oh my god, I remember when he played for that. I remember when he won with his Michael Jackson glove and everything like that. I remember when he got that gig for that Japanese cat. And then I remember he was
Bro,
playing with Israel, and then he had to move, and then it was like nothing, man. But go ahead.
listen. So the thing with Ramon Sampson is so sad. Is like, he was, as a musician, he was literally living the American dream. He is from South Africa. He moved here. And I mean, he started whooping everybody's ass on drums.
He
I mean,
did. He did.
just plain and simple. Like, that nigga was whooping ass. Like, he literally, like, growing up, I was watching him. Of course, I was 21, 22, 23, or whatever, and watching him, like, win the drum off and just slowly start building himself as a brand.
Yeah, exactly. He
Ramon
was.
Sampson was a
I
brand,
think he was
bro.
the first drummer that I saw establish himself as a brand.
Yeah, like he was the cat, like, that really took advantage of the
That
Guitar Center
momentum,
drum
bro.
off winnings and the momentum. Like, he was truly that cat that took full advantage. And I just feel like what happened with him was he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Meaning, like, that tour that they did, from what I heard, this may not be accurate or fully accurate,
Hmm.
but from what I've heard, some stuff happened to where some situations happen where I believe a couple musicians are still in prison over in Japan.
Mm.
Um, but they figured out that Ramon Sampson, I believe, had just a work. Well, he all he had was like a work visa or a school visa or
Oh
something like that.
no, yeah.
Yeah, I think he had a school visa, and you're like not supposed to work or something like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So they found out that he was working and touring and making money. So they sent him back to
Back to Africa.
Africa. And I believe that's the story, but it may not be completely accurate. And I apologize for anybody who watches this or is watching and I have the wrong story, but that's what I heard. And I believe that is what happened. But it sucks because it's like he couldn't. I mean, I feel like he couldn't take none of his gear, man. Like, he had like 4 or 5 drum sets, like
Bro.
all them cymbals and all the drum heads, and Tama was taking care of him. He had all the star classics you could possibly ever ask for.
Hmm.
All the minor symbols.
Yep.
Like, and you look at him now, and it's like he's not playing the stuff that he should be playing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's not playing the stuff that he should be playing as far as gear is concerned, because it's like, bro, he's endorsed. Like, bro, you used to be playing, but it just comes to how limited stuff may be in South Africa for one. But two, it's like, I mean, I feel like a lot of that stuff he didn't have to pay for either.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he did, but he had means and income to pay for it while being here though.
Right, right.
And so the whole dynamic is different now for him. And
Mm-hmm.
that's unfortunate, because it's like, man, he would have been on he still would have been like
When
one of the most touring musicians
yeah,
here if he was still here. And so it's like that momentum for it to just be taken away from him. And it's like there's a difference between you just not doing nothing with it and it being taken away from you. It was taken away from Ramon Sampson. It was taken away from him because he was literally living the American dream. You came all the way here and you became one of the most established young musicians,
hmm
just to be forced to move back. I really hope he comes back one day. I really do.
yeah, yeah, I do too, man. Cause like just watching that video, I took the time and I was just like, bro, let me just watch it. Cause I
All
miss
his
all this
videos are
stuff
still
is a
relevant.
killing. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still relevant.
They're
And
killing.
he did all them killing videos 2013, 2014. Like, and it's all still relevant.
Bruh. Oh my gosh, bruh. Like, man, shouts out to Ramon Sampson, bro. Like,
Shout out to Ramon Sampson, man, for
yeah,
real.
bro. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that story, bro. So we went to who endorses you. You're not endorsed by Stick Company, or are you?
I am endorsed by a stick company. I'm endorsed with Zildjian Stix.
Oh, okay, nice, nice. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the Zildjians and the Sticks, is that like a what package deal, or they're both like, you got to sign separates, or what's how did that work?
You can sign separate, but Sarah, when she was working with Zildjian, she signed me for both.
Okay,
She
okay.
so yeah, so when I got put on, she was like, "Well, how about we sign you for symbols?" And then she's like, "How about we bring you on for symbols and sticks?" I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
Zildjian
of
sticks.
course.
Like, what? I've been playing Zildjian sticks my whole life. I was the eyeball of everything growing up,
Mhm.
because like I loved, like, everybody was playing Vic Firth, everybody was playing Pro Mark, bro. I loved Zildjian sticks. And at the time, Zildjian sticks weren't the best. Like, they were breaking all the time, but I just liked the way that they felt. And plus,
Yeah.
like, my favorite drummers were playing Zildjian sticks. Dennis Chambers was playing Zildjian sticks at the time. Marvin McQuitty was playing Zildjian sticks. So
Mhm.
I wanted to play Zildjian sticks, you know. So yeah, Zildjian sticks, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, I think you went into a little bit of what it took, for you to get, what you wanted, but I want to kind of sort of go into the Zildjian and the pasty or Peisty deal. Could you go back into like how to, because I remember you told a story about it, but for the people who don't know, how did you go from wanting to be endorsed from them and then waiting for Zildjian?
Well, I mean, I was waiting for Zildjian for years,
Mhm.
and while waiting for Zildjian, I mean, bro, I was playing all kinds of companies while
Right.
waiting for Zildjian. Like, there was a time where I was playing like supernatural symbols, and I hated those symbols. I
Yeah.
absolutely hated them. Absolutely hated those symbols. Hold on, my daughter's calling me. Yes,
Yeah.
baby. But sorry. But
You good, bro?
so I was playing Supernatural for a second, and then I played like, dude, I've played so many symbol companies just trying stuff out, you
hmm
know, and let me think. So let's fast forward. I went back playing Sabian. I was playing Sabian for a minute,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but then I started. I mean, then I sold all my Sabians and I went back to Zildjian. I
Mhm.
started playing Zildjian again, and I was just like, man, I'm just gonna wait on Zildjian. I'm just gonna wait. And I had an opportunity to possibly sign with Peisty.
Mhm.
This was literally at the same time. Me and Shawan Andrews
Mhm.
were talking to Peisty at the same time. Literally, we were talking to them at the same time, and I and I don't know. Like, I had connected with them and everything, and my wife. But it's my wife. My wife, man. My wife. She's
Yeah. Yeah.
my wife for a reason.
Yeah.
I had a situation where I got impatient with Zildjian. Like I was waiting for them, and I was like, man, you know what? I'm just going to sign with Peisty. Forget it. And I kid you not, when I had made that decision to sign with Peisty, because I was going to sign with Peisty and I was going to sign with Regal Tip Drumsticks.
Mm.
When I made that decision, I had called my wife. I said, Vash, forget it. Like, I'm going to sign with these companies because they're the ones that are responding back. I said, I haven't heard from Zildjian in months. I'm just going, whatever. I'm just going to do it. And so she was like, you might want to wait. You just need to wait. Just wait it out. Just wait it out. If you really want Zildjian, if you really want to be with Zildjian, you just need to patiently wait. And I was like, no, I'm done waiting. I'm signing. I'm about to pull the trigger. And I kid you not, bro, it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday. I'll never forget this. It was a Sunday. As soon as I hung up the phone with my wife, of course, she was my girlfriend at the time, like I said. But as soon as I hung up the phone with her, I got an email from Sarah on Sunday. Mind you, don't nobody email on Sundays.
Yeah.
She emailed me on a Sunday and was like, well, here's the contracts. This is the deals. And we'd love to have you as a part of the team and all that stuff. And so that was the best day of my life, man. Like when I signed with Zildjian, like the moment I signed with Zildjian, everything else fell in my lap. Everything else. Evans, Pearl, Roland, Groove Gear, Artom Corporation, Clear Sound Baffles, Tyler's Butt Wax, which that's everybody asks me what that is.
Yeah,
but it's like it's drumstick wax, and it goes on the butt of the stick, of the stick. So it's called butt wax. But it's just a funny name, I always get a kick out of telling people that. But I am about to be soon signed with Odyx mics as well. I'm working on that now.
Nice.
And so yeah, man. So, signing with Zildjian opened up doors to be signed with these other companies because once one big company bites the bullet on you, word of mouth spreads, man. Like these companies are intertwined, man. And with that being said, boom.
Yeah.
I got signed with these other companies. So
okay, so that's what's up. So what information or what type of advice would you like to give, other musicians looking for endorsements?
Patiently wait, because a lot of musicians don't know what endorsements entitle. They don't understand. She is.
Yeah, no, I hear, bro. I get it. I get it.
She is going crazy. She is going crazy. But a lot of cats don't understand the true meaning of endorsement and like what comes with it and what it is that they expect out of you and what you should expect out of them. But just be patient because people get impatient and they sign these shitty deals. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
And you have to know your self-value. Like you have to know how valuable you are, because another thing too is don't seek endorsements. You want to be in a position where they come for you.
Yeah.
And so, with Zildjian, it's like they knew about me. They heard my name. My name was in the conversations. You know what I mean? But I didn't look for no endorsement with Pearl or no endorsement with Evans. And as a matter of fact, when I signed with Evans, I was playing Remo.
Right.
And so, you know what I mean? Like you want these companies to come to you because when they come to you, that means you are able to negotiate your terms.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be on their terms. You know what I mean? Because it's like you have to realize how valuable you are to that company. And so once I realized how valuable I really was, like, dude, like I'm like, bro, I'm not signing no rinky dink. You know what I mean? Like cats don't understand like what real endorsements are. Like these endorsements that Soul Tone and all these other smaller companies are given, they're not true endorsements. These are just marketing schemes to sell their product. So they call you, they tell you you're a part of the family and all that other bull. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the truth. It's not the truth because the thing is, it's like, okay, yeah, so what? You're on a website. Cool, yay. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that's not going to solidify anything for you. And most cases, you still have to pay high prices.
Yeah, for the gear.
Like the thing is, it's like even with Soul Tone, for example, like you look at their price list, bro, their cymbals are like $600-700.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give you a 70% discount. Yeah, sure, they're $200 something. Yeah, that makes you feel like that you're getting an endorsement because you're looking at that original price. But those
Right.
cymbals should not even be that
Be that
expensive in the first
price.
place anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And another thing, also, people don't even understand that those cymbals like TRX and Soul Tone, Sovereign, Zion,
Mm-hmm.
all those, they all come from the same factory overseas.
Mm.
I remember back when I was young, bro, when I was 17, when I first started, when I first quote unquote signed, I don't even consider it signing.
Yeah.
But when I first signed with Soul Tone, like there were some prototypes that I was getting because I asked for prototypes, and they still had the stamp Masterwork symbols on them.
Wow.
So the cymbal company Masterwork Cymbals, what at the time was making Soul Tone cymbals. They were getting their symbols from Masterwork Cymbals.
Wow, bruh. Wow.
Yes, but they would ship them over here in America. They would like literally there was some symbols of mine where you could tell where they polished off the old logo and put on
Mm-hmm.
the Soul Tone logo. Swear to God, kid you not. If I were
Yeah.
lying, God can strike me dead.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, and then also another thing is this, like those companies, the smaller companies, like bro, if you break a symbol, you have to pay for a replacement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like
exactly. Like
you're
what?
you if that's the case, you're better off buying it whole price to get a 2 year warranty. You might as
Warranty.
well go to like a Zildjian or a Sabian and buy it whole price,
Mm-hmm.
and you at least got 2 years until it
Yeah.
needs to break. So you mean to tell me I break it and you, matter of fact, you tell me I break it in the middle, so it cracks in the middle of the bow along the lathing, and it's my fault. It's not a manufacturer defect. It's my fault
Right.
that it broke.
Right.
Like, come
Mm-hmm.
on now.
Yeah.
No, it's a way to make more money, and
Yeah.
they're not in it to help their artists. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with Zildjian, like, bro, if I break anything, it's an unlimited warranty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not limited at all. Like, I don't care what type of break it is. If
Mm-hmm.
anything breaks, they're like, let us know so we can replace it. Hell, if I wanted to be petty, if I didn't like the logo on something anymore, if the
Mm-hmm.
damn logo is fading, I can send it back and get another one if I want to.
Exactly.
But I'm not like that. I
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
I, I like my cymbals to age because the older they get, the better they sound. So I
Yeah.
try to keep my cymbal.
Mm-hmm.
But if I break something, I'll send it back and get another one. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
you know, nah, man, that's not how endorsement. Like people got to understand how endorsements work, how they
Exactly.
work, and why endorsements are what they are today. Because it's like with the internet and stuff, like no real companies are going to have an ad out seeking endorsers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a matter of fact, to keep it a buck, like nigga, even these legit companies, yeah, they got an endorsement application,
Right.
but them reps don't look at that.
Right.
They don't look at them. They don't care for them. Like the only way that you're able to even get endorsed is if they know about you, they heard about you, and you created a connection with
Yeah.
them. Period. Point blank. It doesn't work like that. You can't go on Zildjian's website and and email the email hotline on there and try to seek an endorsement,
Yeah.
or try to inbox Zildjian on Instagram.
Right,
I want
right,
to
right.
I want to endorse you guys. It doesn't work like that. And it's not about your talent. It's about marketability. It's not
That's
about your
what's up.
talent. It's not about how well you play. You don't have to be the most dope, fastest drummer to get an endorsement. That's not how you're going to get an endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is, you getting endorsed isn't going to cause you to get more gigs or
Gig.
to get more notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
Endorsements is an after effect of you already getting those things. I already had a big following and all that stuff before I got with these major companies. So
Right.
I put in the work before I even was sought after.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, I was sought after.
Right. And I think Wes Watkins is another great example of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think watching his videos, he just put out a drum video of him just playing a kick snare hi hat with Adidas on. And I think like a few weeks after that, he made a few posts saying that, hey, I got an Adidas deal or something like that, or I'm doing a commercial or something. But it's just about taking your buzz and what I'm saying, maximizing it. You know what I'm saying? Like Nick Smith, man, like he's doing his own thing
Yeah.
with the
Mm-hmm.
1500 or nothing, doing the NPR Tiny Desk with Roddy Rich. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing, man. It's just about really what I think last year has shown us, just like the abilities of within, man. You know what I'm saying? If you really just like tap in and actually like, okay, get out a plan, figure out how you can do it. And like you say, sometimes you can't take all the people that you want with you to where you're trying to go because they ain't gonna put in that same type of work ethic, man. So
Yeah, they
instead,
just not on that level. They're just
yeah,
not on that level, man. And
hmm
it's just what it is. It's unfortunate. As much as you want to take other people with you, you sometimes you just can't. Like,
yeah,
because niggas will hold you down. They'll pull you down to their level or
hmm
what level they feel like you should be on,
should,
and it's not going to be above them,
yeah,
you
right,
know.
right,
And so, what was we talking about? Oh, Wes. So even with
hmm
Wes, like, man, I've had conversations with Wes. Like, I would tell him, like, man, just be patient, like, because he had a certain outlook on endorsements because he was, he went on this rant on Facebook, like probably like a year ago or so,
yeah. I remember.
about how he, like, didn't want to do endorsements and all this other stuff because he was reaching out to Evans and he was reaching out to Tama and all that stuff like that. It's like, bro, if they don't know who you are, like, then they're not going to sign you. Like, it really
Hmm
takes, honestly, even for me, I don't care how many followers I had cats vouching for me for Zildjian.
Yeah.
Wendell Holmes, Sean Wright,
hmm
Haas Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Uh, these are just a few people who vouched on my behalf as far as telling Zildjian, like, hey, he's a good dude. You should sign him. Like, if you don't have that, most cases they're
They're
not
not
going to
gonna
look
get you.
at you.
Hmm
It's
It's
too many people. We are in a industry that is oversaturated with a lot of talent,
hmm
and you have to figure out ways of how to stand out. So even with the Thomas situation with Wes, Trey Lambert reached out to Tama on his behalf, and Tama instantly signed
yeah,
him.
signed them. Yeah, yeah.
But it's word of mouth. That's how it works. This is how the industry
hmm
works. And a lot of cats don't understand that. It's not about how talented you are. It's about the cats who are already on the inside who is going to vouch for
Vouch
you and
for
talk
you.
for you. Exactly.
Man, dude, so many gems, bro. So many gems. So let's fast forward a little bit, man. So what inspired you to play keys? Like what made you start getting really serious at
What inspired me to play keys is I like sounds. I like synth sounds. I had a cousin back at home that was a drummer originally. He was the reason why I even started playing drums in the first place. And then
it?
he transitioned over to keys. And so I'm like, well, shoot, since he's doing that, shoot, I'm gonna do that too. Now, mind
Mm-hmm.
you, like, I'm not super I'm not super advanced on keys, but I play well enough to get my ideas out. I play well enough to arrange, and I really consider myself a ox player. Like, so I'll play all the synth brasses, the pads, the leads, all that stuff, the bells. Like, I'm good at that stuff. I'm good at hearing that
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff.
Right, right.
But I'll play piano here and there, but not all like that. Not how well I wish I could play. But
Okay.
that's what inspired me. Like, that's why I got all these synths. These are all synths. You know what I
Since
mean? Like,
okay, nice.
they're all synths. Like, no matter how expensive they are, they're all synthesizers.
Mm-hmm.
They all have the ability for me to manipulate the sounds and all that stuff. Like, I like weird sounds, so I listen to a lot of old
Yeah.
school stuff, a lot of old school Stevie Wonder. I listen to all his synth bass sounds and all his lead sounds that he would have in his songs and all that stuff like that. Like, I like those sounds, which is a lot of those sounds that I put in my records. So
Okay. Nice, nice. Okay. So that's what's up, man. So what inspires you to start singing, man? Because I remember you made one post. I forgot you were either at like the Williams Singers DVD sound check or some other gig,
oh
and you were
man,
just
that was
like,
old.
yeah, yeah, you were just like, all right, you know what? I'm just about to start singing. And you started singing at sound check. So what inspires you to like go public with your singing?
Man, I mean, what I honestly, to be honest, what made me go public with my singing is like, I'm like, dang, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, there's a lot of
Hmm.
people that, I mean, honestly, that aren't that good of singers to me, just being blunt and
Yeah.
honest, and they got all the confidence in the world. They singing
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, well, shoot, man. Like, I'm an artist. I know I can sing a little bit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm decent. Now, I'm not like no freaking Jasmine Sullivan or no freaking B Slade or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I ain't nothing like that by all means. But it's like, man, I think I got a nice little unique tone that translate well on wax. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so, I've been singing all my life. You know, literally. But people in my hometown knows that I sing. I've sang at talent shows and saying at church and all that stuff like that. So it's just like
Hmm.
I just never made it public on like social media because there's so many other talented, amazing singers, you know?
Exactly, man. Exactly, man. That's what's up. And that's a story that I hear like a lot, man. It's like, man, these guys are singing, but it's like, dude, like I can do that. I can do that better, right?
Oh man,
And then,
I mean, definitely. Like
and then,
I got some homies that like, I mean, that came out with whole records. Like, Trey Lambert is singing. You know what I mean? Like, I got homies that are pushing me. Like, you got, like I said, you got drummers that are singing. You
yeah,
got
yeah,
Corey Henry that's
yeah.
singing.
Hmm.
Like, you got all these musicians that are singing. I'm like, well, let me sing.
Yeah,
Let me get up and say, if these niggas can do it and they're
yeah,
good at it and they got their own stuff going and people are supporting their singing,
yeah.
I can do it too.
Exactly. Most definitely, man. And that's a uh what's the word I'm looking for? Like a wealthy mindset. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people need to have because usually, they just be like, man, I'm scared. I don't know if people are gonna like my stuff. But there's a
Mm-hmm.
market for everyone. You just have to start and open that market. For people to actually pour into that.
Mm-hmm.
So what inspires your album 765, man?
What inspired that, dude? I've been working on that thing for like 5 years. Like
Mm,
a lot of those songs were concepts that I was working on while in college.
mm.
And I had always told myself, I came up with the name 765 for one, that's my area code.
Yes, sir.
And so 765 is my area code. That's where I'm from. I dedicated that record to where I'm from. On the front, the album cover is a real picture. A lot of people think it was photoshopped, but that is a real picture of myself and my niece when I
Hmm.
was 10.
Nice,
And
nice.
and so 765, like those, like I said, those were concepts. All those joints were concepts for years. Like, I was in college in my college dorm with like one keyboard and my iMac or my laptop and like little small speakers and
Hmm.
like coming out with these ideas. And I was like, man, like one day I want to come out with a full album. Like, I was going back and forth for years on if I was going to come out with a series of singles or if I was just going to come out with an EP all at once. And then like I would say I got serious about my record, like pulling these joints out the archives and
Hmm.
really arranging them and redoing sounds and updating the sounds and updating everything. Like, I guess I would say I got serious about that early, like late 2019
Yeah.
into 2020,
Hmm.
when I was like, man, I want to go ahead and finish this up. Like, let's go ahead and start getting these concepts together and start finishing
Hmm.
this stuff up because
Yeah.
I didn't want to sit on it anymore. And I was like, man, I'm an artist, and if I'm an artist, I need some
Uh-huh.
content. I need to come
Exactly.
out with some stuff. But I took my time. Like, I took my time with it. Like,
Hmm.
it took a long time to get that stuff together and get the right team together as far as mixing and mastering and editing and You know what I mean? Getting the right people to write to it,
Mm-hmm.
getting the right people to sing on it, and all that other stuff, man. Like it took some thought, and getting stuff copywritten, and making sure royalties were distributed correctly, and making sure that that is available on all digital platforms and all that stuff like that. Like really, the longest part wasn't creating the music; it was the business aspect of it. That was the longest part of 765 was the business
Mm-hmm.
aspect, was the royalties and the copyrights and all that stuff. That was the longest part. That was the longest process. As far as creating music, I create music all day. I can create music from a can of paint. You know what I mean? Like that's nothing. Literally.
Exactly.
But as far as executing it to where it's an actual product, that's what takes time.
Right. Right.
Especially a good quality product. Like the mix has to be right. The mix has to be right. The editing has to be right. The mastering has to be right. Everything has to be right so that everybody can hear what it is that I'm trying to translate across. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so those were the longest processes of 765. But um, you know, I'm glad I did it. Like I'm glad, and it's doing well. I looked at the statistics today, and I'm over 30,000 streams, and it's been less than 3 months since I
Nice.
released it.
Yeah.
You know, and for me to be a first time artist as far as like releasing my own original music,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that I did a hell of a job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For it to be 30,000 streams on Apple Music alone, 40,000 streams in all on all digital platforms. It's about
Mm-hmm.
30, about 45,000 streams.
Yeah, man.
And so, God is good. He's been helping me out, and so that's what has pushed and catapulted my inspiration. Like I was just gonna let that joint sit for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to do nothing else, but I'm already working on my next record. Like I'm already excited to work on my next record. Like so, this momentum, I have to work on this momentum. You know what I'm saying? Getting these ideas out and getting everything out because now I know the formula of coming out with a record, and I know how long it takes to come out with a record as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, shoot, I got all these keyboards, I got these drums, it's a pandemic. I might as well get this joint done. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I plan on coming out with this next record. It's going to be called 1991, which is when I was born, the year I
Yes,
was born.
sir.
I'm gonna come out with 1991, probably, hopefully around the same time, probably like October, November.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I wanna shoot for my 30th birthday. Hopefully, like when I turn 30, hopefully
Yeah.
I can come out with 1991. That would be really
Right.
dope. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
That would be really dope. But we'll see because I'm not gonna rush this music. I want it to be right. If it's not right by then it's not coming out by then. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
Right.
but yeah, that was my whole thing, or the process and the concept and the reason why I came out with 765. This
Mm-hmm.
music I've been just hoarding on to for a minute.
Nice, man. Nice. Okay, man. Look, man, I appreciate your time again, Aaron. We're wrapping this up. We got a few more questions left, man. Like I said, I appreciate you
Okay,
again. Nothing but
no
knowledge.
problem.
I mean, man, the experience, the stories, and going back to the album, man. I listened to the album in like my little $79 Sennheisers, and
Okay.
man, I was blown away. I was blown away. The quality of the mix, just the caliber of playing, the precision, the pocket. You know what I'm saying? All of it was just translated. Like it's almost like if I was just a first time person listening to that album, and I saw you were from Indiana, I would envision that your city feels like this album. You know, like
Man,
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what I got. Like from the intro to the outro. You know what I'm saying? Like it, and that's what I think like music is missing, especially with such positive messages. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and what I'm noticing and what I'm seeing and what I'm learning through all of this research, hey baby, is that it's the people that really push this stuff, and then you have to have artists bold enough to actually want to be like, hey, I know what's out there, but look, I got this vision that hey, we can put this out and it's gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you
Hmm.
and your team putting out stuff like that, man, because that's exactly what we need, man. Okay, so I want to go a little bit into like I guess this is like the juicy part of the interview, right? So shouts
Okay.
out to everybody on YouTube. Hey, it's my 3 watchers. I appreciate y'all. My 3 comments. I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all sub to the channel, like, share, all that good stuff. But now I want to get back into I want to get into that Groove Gear event, right? Um,
Okay.
and there was like a little bit of controversy around the baby boy drummer. I wasn't too like privy on it, but I remember I saw a few posts about the controversy about like somebody saying something about him, whatever. I mean, he's 7 and he's killing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
why would somebody do that? You know what I'm saying? And so what I wanted to know is, can you go a little bit into that and what your experience was with that, and then have we as musicians like move forward from that as a whole from that situation? Because I remember the situation, but I don't know if there was any conclusion or any like statement that was brought out that like diminished or solved the whole thing.
Okay. So what situation exactly are you speaking of? So I know
Because
exactly what to touch
because
on.
I remember there was because there was a drummer. Like I said, I don't remember what was said or who was said it, but I remember somebody made a post saying that like you're hating on a little drummer. You know what I'm saying about something that happened or whatever. But like I said, his dad was like his manager or something like that. There was some type of controversy around that. But like I said, it was so
Well,
quick.
the only controversy that I heard about the baby boy drummer and his father is like there was an interviewer or a cat named Kevin Hayden that said like that he was exploiting his son.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, for one, you know, I which I've been disagreed. Like, if it wasn't for Baby Boy Drummer's father, he would not be the musician that he is,
Mm-hmm.
and he would not be making the business moves that he's making. Like, he's literally setting his son up to be a successful musician.
Exactly.
Like, literally, like, mind you, Baby Boy Drummer's father is a Grammy winning arranger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has Grammys. You know what I mean? And so the way that he's going about the stuff, the way he's going about cultivating his son, he's not forcing his son to do anything. His son
Exactly.
loves music. His son loves playing drums. And so his son just so happened to be a cute little boy who was talented. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, it's gonna bring traction. It's brought endorsements, it's brought a lot of stuff, a lot of positive stuff. So when he gets older, those are less things that he has to worry about. He can just worry about being a brand and continuing his brand, and he doesn't have to grind for certain things that other niggas got to grind for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so some stuff you just don't pay attention to, because it's like, with my personal experience with his father, like talking to him, hanging with him, helping him out with his son's drums and all that stuff like that. Like, bro, he's such a kind-hearted, genuine individual.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same for his son. His son's the same way. But Baby Boy Drummer has an amazing father. Like, that's a father that any musician wish they had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Period.
Like, period, point blank. Like, although, don't get me wrong, like, I absolutely appreciate and love my daddy to death, and I appreciate the things that he's done and sacrificed for me to be who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to having a musically inclined father,
Father,
like,
right.
my daddy's not musically inclined. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, my mom sings in church, but she's not like in the industry like I am. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my brothers are not in the industry at all. Like, they're not. I don't. I guess you could say I don't have a musical family.
Mm-hmm.
They, Baby Boy Drummer, his family is a musical family. Like, his aunties are like big, huge name singers in the industry. His
Mm-hmm.
dad has a Grammy. His mama sings. His
Yeah.
little sister
Sister.
plays and sings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you be upset about that?
Exactly.
I don't see it. But from my personal experience, from the Groove Gear events, from me playing beside him at the Groove Gear event at NAM and all that other stuff, it was a great experience, and I'm glad that I did something with him that he'll remember for the rest of his life.
Exactly.
Like he's gonna remember that Aaron Smith and Aaron Spears and JD Beck and Taylor Gordon, all these other big drummers reached out to him and supported him
Mm-hmm.
and told him to keep going. Like there's so much light in the world that, you know, that is overshadowed by all the darkness.
Yeah.
So it's like that's something that is positive in that boy's life that has catapulted and pushed him to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like my take on it. But no, I don't listen to all that negative. Some people just talk just to talk. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
most definitely, most definitely. Because my I guess my greater question for that would be like, what would even drive someone to say something like that, and with someone giving
Not
such a,
understanding,
you know what I'm saying?
just not understanding the situation. You're not there. You're not you haven't had no interactions with none of you haven't had no interactions with Baby Boy drummer, let alone his father.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why would you make such a big assumption like that? Like, why? For
Right.
what? What gain do you get out of that? Like making such a big, huge positive situation into something negative. Like, how can you find anything negative out of that? Like,
Exactly.
let's focus on the positive because there's so much negative stuff going on during these times right now. We're living in the craziest times
Mm-hmm.
of our life. Like just the other day, niggas storming the Capitol
Right.
because they didn't get what they
They
want.
want it. Yep.
Like, bro, we are this close to having civil wars in
Mm-hmm.
America, and you are tearing down a black
Black.
man and a black family who is doing something positive with their kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's focus on the positives, man.
Yeah, man. Most definitely, man. Great answer, bro. Thank you for touching on that, my brother, man. And so I was looking on your Facebook during the research, man, and I remember on August 28th, you made a Facebook post about like America's judgment and like where America is today and stuff like that. What led you to post that?
What was do you know what I can't
I
remember
can, yeah,
exactly
no,
what the post was.
I can pull it up. Give me a sec.
Yeah, pull it up for me so and then so I can give you
Most definitely.
so I can answer it properly.
Yeah, yeah, because I saw that and I was like, oh man, yeah, this is it. Because it ties into the last two questions. Uh-oh, I did the wrong one, huh? Yeah. Cool, man. What did I say? I said August 28th.
Yeah, August 28th.
Okay, man. While you guys are waiting on me, tell everybody where they can get your album, man.
Man, you can get my album. You can get my album on any digital outlet. Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Tidal. I mean, you can even shoot. It's even on YouTube. Like
Hmm.
you can look at the whole record anywhere. You can find it anywhere. Like Google the Aaron Smith Experience, and I'll pop up and you can check me out on any platform, man. Literally any digital platform. You can get that. Go get that record. It's only 20 minutes long. Go
Man,
get the record.
and I'm glad you said that, man, because it's so digestible, man. It's so digestible, man. Like nothing's overbearing. I think, the 2 minute song, then the 5 minute song, then like the under 1 minute intros and outros, like it just flowed very well. So y'all go cop that, man, for real, for real.
I definitely appreciate that, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
definitely appreciate that. I wish I knew exactly what post you talking about. Cause I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
exactly what post that was.
I'm looking. This Mac is super slow, so I had to go to my phone.
All good. All good.
uh, let's see. I said August. I'm only in October. Okay, all right. We're getting close. Here we go. 28th. Let me see. I think this is it. Um, yeah. Okay, here it is. I think it's yep, here it is. It says with all that's been going on in 2020. This is August 28th, 2020. From racial injustices in America, from this deadly virus that hit the USA worse than any other country, from mass deaths from either the virus, racial injustice, natural causes, other sickness, and freak accidents, etc. Get right with God and do right by people while you're here. We truly do not know when it's our time to leave this earth. People are literally creating enemies, stirring mess, and openly doing people wrong, while the spirit of death is running rampant inside of the U.S. Make sure your heart is right and your intentions are right, because only God's grace and mercy can and will cover you. So many people are being exposed and losing their lives in 2020. Take this as a warning. Get your life together. Stop being openly evil and focus on the love on the loved ones that genuinely love you. I'm sorry, but you cannot convince me that America is not being judged for openly stepping away and denouncing God. Go check your heart. So what led you to post that, man?
Man, I actually forgot I posted that, man. Whew. Honestly, I'm not trying to be like super spiritual, but I think God like led me to post that. Like
hmm
because I think back then I was probably sitting back and just realizing all the crazy stuff that's been going around us.
hmm
Like it's been a lot of crazy stuff that's been going on. Like, and a lot of people that I personally know have died. Like cats, it doesn't matter if I known them from school, family members, or if friends, family members that have died, or people just ran. Like it doesn't matter. Like I just think ultimately it really affected me that day, like
hmm
specifically because I mean this world, I mean this isn't the same America. Like don't get me wrong, all this bad stuff has been going on for quite some time, but today isn't the same America that we had even 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
And although it was bad 10 years ago, it's even worse now. That's what I'm saying. It's just worse. And so
right.
I just felt led to warn people like yo, we got to make sure we do right while we're here. Like that don't mean that you're perfect, but just treat people right, treat people with respect, and just do right by people, whether you're in their face or behind their back. Like just check your heart. Like at the end of the day, it's a heart thing. It's a heart
Yeah,
thing because it's like a lot of people's hearts aren't right. They just aren't. Like a lot of people are just pure evil. Like during these the craziest times right now, during all this stuff that's going on, you have time to be evil to somebody or conniving
hmm
or whatever the case is, or try to sabotage anybody's life while we're already dealing with a pandemic. People are already losing their minds solely based on the pandemic.
hmm
Solely based on the pandemic, people are losing their minds. People are sick of looking at the same walls every single day. People are losing their marriages and stuff because because financially they are struggling right now, and finances are the number one thing that will break a couple apart. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or people are struggling just to figure out how to raise their kids every single day because they're so dependent on daycares and all that stuff. Like, you know
hmm
what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more stuff that we got to be focused on and be worrying about. But there are people who are blatantly, purposely doing evil things and doing just messed up, jacked up stuff to genuine people or just people in general, man. And it's whack. It's whack. Like, we already got enough shit that we got to deal with on a daily basis alone.
Exactly.
Let alone, it's like, why do you have to be a shitty person on top
Yeah,
of that?
yeah.
Like I don't know, man, but I don't know, but it just made me think like it's scary because it's just like people are dropping like flies left and right, bro. Like people that you would least expect to die,
hmm
people you at least expect to die, like literally, like I truly feel like the judgment of God has hit America, like
hmm
because of the stuff that we're dealing with and the stuff that we got going on nowadays, like. there are a lot of countries and continents that are back to normal.
Yeah.
And nigga, we are still struggling to figure out if we're gonna get $600 or not.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't been able, like, people haven't been able to tour, people haven't been able to work. You know what I'm saying? It's just like America is so greedy when it comes to money, and people are so entitled to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to America, like let's keep it real. Like, people think Trump was such an amazing president, but like, let's keep it real. The only thing that he did that was decent was the economy boomed when he
Yeah.
was in office.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, as far as his character, the way that he carried himself, the way that he denounced the Black Lives Matter movement and all that stuff, and said that they were going to be killed, and all this other stuff that's going on, and you're provoking people and encouraging violence, and you really didn't say much about the injustices that were going on in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And so he doesn't become president, and now all of a sudden now now half of America is in an outrage. Like, literally, this country is split in half. Literally,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's so scary to see that, man. Like, it's scary. So the thing that is going to help everybody survive during these times is having a closer relationship with God, no matter how you do it, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, we can't even go to church.
Yeah. 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 You can't.
Like, bro, I haven't been in physical church since March.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
March of 2020.
Yeah.
And I would be a liar to say that hasn't affected me. I miss
Right. Exactly.
being in church, man.
Mm-hmm.
To feel the presence of God, to be able to worship on one accord with other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This virtual stuff ain't working for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not, man. But I don't know, man. That particular post, like, wow, I'm glad you brought it up, because I need to. That makes me think about stuff again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because I really do think the spirit of judgment is on this country right now. Like, Bishop Jake said, he put up a post like, the Roman Empire fell, like all these empires and stuff that have fallen
Mm-hmm.
because they got beside themselves and all that stuff. Like, bro, like, America ain't too far from falling, being one
Yeah.
of the greatest countries and stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we can still fall. Like, as many expensive weapons and nuclear bombs and all that stuff that we got,
Yeah.
more than the world combined.
Mm-hmm.
And all it's taken was a virus that we can't see to take almost 400,000 people out in our
Mm-hmm.
country. God has his way of getting what he wants done.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Point blank. And so, people just forget about God, man. You can't forget about God. Like, no matter all the things that I've accomplished, like, none of it has been done without God. None of it.
Mm-hmm.
None of it has been done without acknowledging him at
Yeah.
all. Like, I know where my favor comes from, and it's
Yeah.
not me. It
Yeah.
is not me. Like, there's a ton of cats that sound way better than me on drums.
Mm-hmm.
But because God has his hand on me, I sound different. And I
Right.
know that my anointing is what makes me sound different. It's not
Yeah.
me.
Right.
So I
Right.
can't
Right.
act like it's me. The moment I start feeling myself saying that it's me is the moment God will take his hand off of me. And then
Yeah.
I'm exposed to attacks. I'm exposing my family. I'm
Mm-hmm.
exposing everything that is connected to me.
Yeah. 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 Man, that's a great answer, man. Powerful answer, man. I definitely appreciate that. And someone in the chat said, man, this is dope for real, for real. And I already got the album. It's dope and inspiring. Keep the vibe coming, man. So you got some people that really messing with your stuff, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Man, I
So
appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you to any and everybody who is out there, whoever's listening or whoever looks at this later on or anything like that. Like, thank you for the love and support. It means a lot, and it helps me support my family. It
yeah.
it helps push me. You know what I mean? It pushes me to the next level, like to see what I'm doing is blessing others, and so that empowers me to keep going, even when I don't feel like going. It keeps me to keep going,
Mhm.
and so just thank you for that. I appreciate everybody.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, bro. So, after that August post, I think maybe because that was 2020. So, okay, so back when I guess like the George Floyd stuff and the Ahmaud Arbery stuff started happening, right?
Hmm.
You made I no, I think it was Taylor Gordon, Pocket Queen. Shouts out.
Hmm.
She made a post, an original post, right? So I'm gonna go by it how I saw it, right? Um,
Yeah,
I
yeah, she was
saw,
first.
yeah, okay. So I saw Taylor post something. Then I don't know if you saw this, and this kind of going back to the rep you were talking about that used to be at Zildjian, and I'm not sure, but I don't know if it was her, but I saw Aaron Spears do an interview with a lady from Zildjian on Instagram. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, cool. And I don't know if that was the same lady. And I was doing something or getting ready for something, so I couldn't stay for the whole like conclusion of it, right? Um,
Hmm.
and then I saw the statement that Zildjian posted, and then I saw what you said about like, hey, look, I'm not posting anymore. I'm not doing all of these shouts out or whatever until these companies actually hear our voices, So
Hmm.
how long were you on strike? And after that letter that they sent, Zildjian in particularly, what type of tangible moves did they make in order to be like, hey, all right, we hear you, Aaron, and Taylor. Like, so here's what we're
Hmm.
gonna do for your community, on behalf of our community, killing your brothers and sisters. So
Hmm.
what transpired during that whole thing?
Man, I mean, my post caused a lot of controversy. Even
Yes.
with it caused a lot of controversy, man. Even with like a lot of cats didn't even agree with what I was doing. They felt like
Mhm.
I was just following a trend or whatever the case is. And it's like, no, I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like that's how I really felt because it's like the whole world was outraged
Mhm.
for what was going on. You know what I mean? And so I felt like it was very respectable and commendable, um, for what Taylor did. And so I wanted to back that up. I wanted to support that. And so by me supporting that, I was like, I'm no longer going to tag. I'm no longer going to promote any of these companies until we hear something from you guys. As far as not just a statement, I don't care about statements. What are you going to do as far as pouring back into these communities that that needs this our support as one as a company, you know what I mean? And so Zildjian, they came out with a statement, which that statement was very, very, very controversial,
Yeah. Yeah.
extremely controversial. They lost a lot of support as far as a lot of honestly, I'll be honest, a lot of white supporters stopped
Wow.
buying Zildjian symbols. A lot of white supporters hated the fact that Zildjian supported Black Lives Matter
Hmm.
and any of that stuff. And so, with that being said, even it was weird. Even blacks didn't like it.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw that. I saw
And
that.
yeah. And which was it. That's still a cloudy thing to me. Like
Mhm.
it's weird. Like when you finally get some stuff on board and people still aren't satisfied, you'll still
Yeah.
have those type of people. But it is what it is. It's like you can't please everybody, man. And so with that being said, like Zildjian, we had meetings. Like I legit was on the phone. Like it was me, Aaron Spears, Sarah Hagan, Craigie Zildjian, like which Craigie's ahead of all of Zildjian. Like she
Yeah.
owns Zildjian.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like we're trying to come up with solutions and try to figure out ways of how to support not only the black musicians, but support the black community. So um Zildjian already gives away a certain amount of symbols to boys and girls clubs, um, as well as they donated a really great amount of money to, I believe, Howard University.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of charities that was going on as far as a lot of donations that was happening. Pearl Drums came out with a scholarship for urban kids,
Mm-hmm.
which was dope. And Pearl was the hardest one because Pearl isn't even a American company. You know what
Oh.
I'm saying? And so that was a lot of controversy as well because a lot of people, mainly white people,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people think that companies should stay out of politics.
Right.
And in some ways, I feel like that's true to a certain extent. But it's like when something ridiculous like that is affecting people worldwide is going on, you should say something. And if
Exactly.
if if companies like Nike and you know what I'm saying, like if
Mm-hmm.
these big corporations like Nike and stuff can say something and support Black Lives Matter and all that stuff like that, then these other companies can too. And so with that being said, Pearl was having meetings and people was arguing and like it was a lot of stuff going on, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like getting a ton of phone calls and a ton of conversations that was going on. But ultimately, I would say it just helps to know that these companies, they're still white companies, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right. Right.
let's
Most
just
definitely.
let's just keep it honest. So
Mm-hmm.
they can only understand to a certain extent, but this calls us as black musicians to come up with the Black Musicians Coalition,
Yeah.
yeah, which a lot of people didn't know nothing about the coalition for months. Like people just now finding out about the coalition because we just now presented it to the public.
Yeah.
But we created the Black Musicians Coalition when all this injustice stuff was going on.
Mm.
And so it was it's like Brian Fraser Moore, Chris Coleman, Robert Spud Seawright, Gordon Campbell, Aaron Spears,
Mm-hmm.
myself, Shawan Andrews, Devin Taylor, Jamal Moore, like just to name just a few,
Yeah.
as well as other professional like legends that play other instruments.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not just drummers, but it's like
Right.
everybody as a whole. And so we're getting stuff done on our end as well. You know what I mean? As far as support is concerned and doing certain things and doing certain giveaways and donations and stuff like that. But as a whole, we're all coming together so that we are all protected um as one,
Mm-hmm.
as us, as people, as blacks. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to get what we deserve with these companies now.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of cats that are getting paid and stuff like that, and there's a lot of cats that aren't getting paid and they're black and they have more influence than the white drummers
Yeah.
and the white musicians and stuff like that. Like people don't even know. Like that's the reason why like it's a racial stuff that's going on and they don't even know it. Like why should Chad Smith or somebody else get paid and not Aaron Spears? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Spears is the reason why most niggas is playing DW.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's not even with DW anymore. Now he's with Sonar. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's
Right.
just
Yeah.
like you got to think about stuff like that. Like you got to treat them. You got to treat everybody the same, man. You got to treat everybody the same. It's like you got to understand like the value in black musicians is so like we influence so much. Y'all need us in order to sell your products as one as a not necessarily individually, but as a whole black community, we sell a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like with that being said, man, all this it was such controversy with that stuff. But it's like, man, we gotta step up and we gotta say something because we sick of all this stuff that's going on. And then these companies just sitting back and just posting like nothing happened.
Happened. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like at least stop posting for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there was somebody, who was it? It was D Drum Drums. Like all that stuff was going on and they still promoting their drums and stuff. Like, bro, ain't nobody think about drums right now.
Right.
Why are y'all promoting drums?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had some homies on D Drum's roster. They were trying to get D Drum to say something and they refused. They ignored it. So guess what they did? They left the company. And what's funny is like a lot of drummers were leaving companies at this moment, because Tama didn't say anything originally. until a lot of cats started leaving. Like
Yeah.
when Taylor threatened to leave, Rico threatened to leave, Devin Taylor threatened to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, we're the most influential, and y'all just gonna sit back and say nothing
Right.
about what's been going on in this country as a whole over these past few years,
Hmm.
and nobody's been doing nothing. Everybody's been getting away with it. No, so it's like that was our way of protesting.
Man, and that's a great answer, man. And let the people know how they can tap into the Black Musicians Coalition.
Okay, so the Black Musicians Coalition, we have an Instagram. Hold on, let me try to find it real quick. Black, I think it's called the BMC. Yeah. All right. So the um the Instagram is called National BMC.
Yep, yep,
So please go there and follow them for updates and all that stuff. But that's how you're able to figure out what's going on with the Black Musicians Coalition, as well as go to the national bmc.org, and that way that's where you can watch a video to kind of explain what they are doing and all that stuff. And as far as uh, our mission, you can see who's on the board. Let's see. Let's look at the board. You got Nissan Stewart, Robert Spud Seawright, you got Cora Coleman, you got Aaron Spears, Kat Dyson, Chris Johnson, Divinity Rocks, Dave Hampton, Lil John Roberts, Gordon Campbell, Amy Parker. You got a lot of big people that are on the board.
yeah.
That are a part of this, that are trying to make some things happen. And so as far as getting connected, you can go on, like I said, the Black Musicians Coalition, the website, which is the website is what is the website? The website is nationalbmc.org.
Yep.
So you can go there and connect. And if you want to connect with them, you can call or you can email them. So all the information is there. Just go to the website. But
Yep.
this is a way that you can stay in connection. If you want to be a part, just talk to them via email and see how you can be a part.
Man, dude, thank you for that, man. So with that being said, bro, what's next for Aaron Smith?
Man, just trying to survive 2021, man. Trying to get out of this mug in one piece. No, man, just what's next for me is just continue to evolve, whatever that is. Like,
Hmm.
continue to evolve as an artist, continue to evolve as a professional musician, continue to evolve as a producer, continue to evolve as a better husband, continue to evolve as a better father, to all of my kids, continue to be closer to God, continue to be smarter with the decisions that I make financially, or the decisions that I make as far as a whole with my family. Um, just to try to just make a better life in general for me and whoever's connected to me.
Hmm.
Um, those are my main focuses right now. And then ultimately keeping my sanity with all this
Yeah.
crazy stuff that's going on, is just keeping sane during
Hmm.
all this, because it's so easy. And I've seen so many people lose their minds during these times and get
Hmm.
depressed and do irrational things. And I don't want to become that. I don't want to
Exactly.
become that person, that guy. And so that's what's next for me, man. I mean, ultimately, what's next is really just really branding myself even more, getting this record done, getting 1991 done,
Hmm.
so that people can have another record that they can enjoy. This record will probably be longer because I have more songs and more ideas, but we'll see. If they don't plan out how they should, who knows? This EP might be 5 songs. Like, who
Right,
knows? You
right,
know what I
right.
mean? But it's whatever God wants, man. I just want to live in my truth, and be in the will of God, because being in the will of God is what calls me to survive.
Yes, sir.
If I was not in the will of God, man, like the enemy could have been took me out, or took my family, or took my wife, or
Right,
whoever.
right. Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely.
And so that, I just want to utilize my time the best way that I can and appreciate every second of life, because life can just change in a blink of an eye, and people go in a blink of an eye. People expect to see tomorrow and don't see tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's my biggest thing that I think about every day, is the fact that I wake up and I'm like, oh, I got another day. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to think like that, because it causes you to move a certain way in your life.
Yeah.
It causes you to move with purpose,
Mm-hmm.
because every day isn't guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. If you wake up grateful to breathe and to have a regular life with no sickness, no type of limitations, like, man, maximize that the
Yeah.
best way that you can, and appreciate it, because cats are dropping like flies out
Yeah.
here, man.
Yeah.
I keep stressing that, because it's like, man, death, like, not like death hasn't been heavy on my mind, but just appreciating life
Life.
until
Yeah.
my life is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to live this life. I don't want to leave in regret.
Exactly.
I don't ever want to leave with shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I want to be the best daddy that I can be. I want to be the best husband. I don't want to be. I just don't. I don't have time for none of that other stuff. So I just been in my bubble, man. I just been in my bubble, trying to just work and get things done and to stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So that's what's next for me, bro.
Bro, man, hey, I appreciate you, Aaron, again, man. Everybody here watching on YouTube right now during the live, thank you guys, everybody for tapping in the comments. I appreciate y'all, man. Uh, yo, Aaron, dude, thank your family for letting me have you for 2+ hours, man. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate this. I hope these questions were worth the time, man. You know what I'm saying? I really
Yeah,
tried to do some research and actually make these things real enlightening and informative. You know what I'm saying, and not just ask some floofy patty cake questions, man. So leave the
yeah,
people,
man.
yeah, man. Leave the people where they can find you. Leave your Cash App if you want some donations, man. Go ahead.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Aaron Smith Experience. You can find me on Twitter at Aaron Smith EXP. I couldn't put the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
um, find me on Facebook, Aaron Smith. My fan page pops up. My regular page pops up. I don't really update my fan page all like that. I really update more my personal page. Like, I
Yeah.
really turn that into my fan
Fan
page, if that
page.
makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you can find me on YouTube, Aaron Smith Experience. Um, you just type in Aaron Smith Experience, man. I'll pop up on any and everything, just literally. And so my Cash App is Aaron Smith Drums. If you want to feel the need to send me a donation, it'll go
Mm-hmm.
straight to my kids. It'll go straight to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna go to no shoes or sneakers or nothing
Yeah.
like that, clothing. It's gonna go to us, you know, eating.
Yes,
And
sir.
so Aaron Smith Drums, AARON SMITH all together. And so, yeah, I appreciate the love and support after all these years, and I appreciate everybody watching my journey as I've gotten older. It's like I'm not the young prodigy kid anymore. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a grown man. Like, I still can't
Yeah.
believe it. Like,
Yeah.
it's it's still like so surreal to me that I'm grown.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the love and support, and I'll continue to come out with good content and inspirational stuff while I'm here on this earth. That's what I'm here for. And so I hope that I even live forever after my life is done,
Exactly.
whenever that is. Pray that God just continues to live, let me live to see my babies get old and have other babies and all the other stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
they babies have babies and all that. I hope I live a very long lasting life. But I still want to be a big part of everyone's life musically while I'm here.
Yes, sir, man. With that being said, man, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to this live, bruh. Crested Wiz, Black Collar King. You can follow me on Instagram at BLACKCOLLAR King. Hit the Cash Apps up, BLKCLLR45. Same for Venmo and Cash App, BLKCLLR45. PayPal.me /Michael Athlete. That's my Facebook, MICHAELATHEY. Crescent Wiz, man, we got more stuff coming on the way soon, bro. I appreciate y'all. Follow Aaron Smith. Get him to 15,000 subs because once he do, 15K equals giveaway. So go tap in with that. Hey, guys, I appreciate y'all again. Crescent Wiz, Aaron, thank you so much again, my brother. Appreciate y'all, man. We out.